that ogres roar at the start of a battle, and there is the possibility that Kang is still alive. She starts running toward Kang even though she might not make a difference against the ogre. Despite it, the others will struggle to take it down. She starts to think about the possibility. She figures out that Sionghua will never forgive her if she ignores a chance to rescue Kang. Iseol, without hesitation, continues heading toward the danger, while calling Kang's name, hoping that she gets a reply. She finally makes it to where Kang is, and what she meets is totally not what she was expecting. She watches Kang wielding an aura sword while unleashing a powerful slash, which she considers to be nothing short of being called beautiful. She watches Kang tear apart the ogre's hide like it is wet tissue. She doubted Kang's abilities when she was unfolded. But now that she has witnessed it firsthand, she realizes that Kang is wielding an aura blade. Iseol is totally stunned until Kang turns around to see her. He is surprised and asks why she is in the dungeon since he is sure that he hasn't exceeded his time limit. With a smile on his face, Kang carelessly tells the lady that he was rushing to take out the monsters, but he ended up running into a boss monster. Iseol is shocked and starts to wonder why Kang is looking so calm. The first thing that came out of her mouth was her asking Kang how he was able to use the aura blade. Kang smiles, telling Iseol that the aura blade is not perfect yet, claiming that he was only able to use it because the ogre showed up out of nowhere. Kang continues by saying he understands why Iseol wanted them to go to a lower rank dungeon. Iseol cannot believe that Kang is acting so casually since the dungeon has already mutated into an A-rank dungeon. Without wasting time, Kang mentions the most important thing to him, which is how much they can get from the ogre and his monastery. Kang looks back to point at the ogre, but the grueling sight causes him to start vomiting. Iseol finally realizes that Kang just has a weak stomach, which is why he was vomiting everywhere. Kang reveals that he has been vomiting since he started fighting the monsters, but notices that the sky is blue. Iseol agrees with him, saying it is a sign that the dungeon has been cleared and all that is left for them is to step out and get before they contact the recovery team, Kang urges Iseol to go back to the one. Iseol is shocked by this, and she asks Kang why he would give her the credit for something that he worked really hard for. Kang replies that he doesn't like standing out because news about him defeating an ogre would definitely cause some side effects. Iseol is blown as she stares at Kang, finally realizing that he knew what he was doing when fighting the ogre. Just then, Iseol apologizes for the way she acted towards Kang without properly knowing what he was doing wrong. Since Kang is not willing to stand out, she believes that Kang has his reasons. She also doesn't know if Iseol believes that she was the one who defeated the ogre, but at the same time, she is willing to go with it. Iseol stretches her hand toward Kang, telling him that she is looking forward to working with him. With a bright smile, Kang says he is also looking forward to working with him. Iseol immediately withdraws her hand, and she just tells Kang that it is time for them to get their payment so that she can avoid anything that will make her shake the dude. With this, they successfully cleared a D-rank turned A-rank portal. Sionghua is shocked when she sees Kang. Sionghua wastes no time rushing over to hug Kang, while Iseol bows to apologize to Sionghua. Kang was genuinely confused about what was going on until he heard the explanation from them that they believed that he had died because the portal had mutated. Kang is impressed by how they ran into danger to rescue him, which makes them loyal companions. Kang apologizes for stressing them out, and he also thanks them for coming in to rescue him. Sionghua, with tears in her eyes, tells Kang that she is just happy that Kang is safe. Iseol then asks Kang if he knows any dealers to help him sell the corpses. Kang smiles, telling Iseol that she is free to handle the rest of the business, lying that it has been a long time since he died. Moments later, Kang steps out of the portal and leaves the side. His smile suddenly turned cold when he saw a troop of soldiers outside the building. One of the soldiers asks him if he is one of the hunters who went inside, and he says yes. Kang is stunned, and he asks the soldier why they are gathered. The soldier salutes, saying they received a report that a D-rank portal mutated into an A-rank portal. The soldier reveals that the troop is from the Aegis unit, and they were dispatched at the request of the Hunter Management Agency. The captain asks Kang why he is the only one stepping out of the portal when there were 3 who entered. Kang finally realizes that everyone is gathered because they were scared that the team was already wiped out in the portal. Kang assures the soldiers that the other hunters are safe because they have cleared the portal. The soldier cannot believe what Kang just said about the portal being conquered. Kang is still trying to prove this when a giant overhead tries to come through the portal. The soldiers scream when they see this, and they are prepared to fire their weapons, but Iseol's voice echoes from behind, telling them not to fire their weapons. She assures them that, but he knows that Iseol doesn't have the strength to take on an ogre alone. He suspects that Kang was the one who landed the final blow, and Iseol confirms this, saying no one would believe her since Kang is a B-rank hunter. She tells her master that Kang also doesn't want to use strength. Isiol then asks Kim Mandong about the open position of spearmanship at the school. Apparently, Isiol is interested in the position, claiming that she should be able to get the Isiol excitedly reveals that her guild contract is about to end, and she will resume teaching at the school as the spearmanship instructor. Meanwhile, Kong is going to see the thanks to the techniques that he taught him. However, the old man just sits down to enjoy his ramen, while the dude talks about how he defeated the vice principal. Kang notices that his master is actually smiling, even though he is trying hard not to show it. Cho then tells Kong that the vice principal is a pretty shameless person to have used a superior technique on someone who is lower than him. Kong then asks his master if his performance is worth 110 points, but the old man deducts even 20 marks, saying his performance is just 90 marks because he is an arrogant fool. Nonetheless, Kang bows to his master, thanking him because he was able to perform well in the duel thanks to him. Cho scolds Kang, telling him to reward him with some pork stew if he really wants to show gratitude. Kong then reveals that he didn't come empty-handed. He mentions that he brought something that he planned to give to him before his fight with the vice principal. But circumstances changed. Kong reaches into his bag and brings out textbooks that are used for studying the language in the outside world. Kong was able to do this since Cho was curious about the changes that had occurred in the outside world. Cho was impressed that Kong had the insight to think of such. Just then, he notices an unusual book, and he calls Kong's attention to it. It turns out that the said book is a laptop, and Kong shows Cho how to open the laptop. He plays a music video for him, for an urgent mission concerning an A-rank portal, which might span across 1 week. Isiol turns to her teammates asking them if they are available, and Kang, being the bright dude he is, wastes no time accepting to go with her. Kang realizes that he is just about to receive a major turning point in his second life. Once Isiol has gotten the consent of her teammates, she tells her uncle that she will call back after she has adjusted her schedule. After dropping the call, Kang asks her what the problem is, and he lets her know that she is free to share because he is ready to help if it is within his power to do so. Isiol says she is relieved to have Kong by her side, but she mentions that it is a matter of time and long distance. Kong is still confused about this, and Seonhwa mentions that Isiol's uncle is the guildmaster of the Hairang Guild, located in Jeju Island. Isiol reveals that there were some casualties at an A-rank portal, which has left them short-staffed. Because of this, he wants them to come over to help for a week. Isiol assures Kong that all the logistics materials will be provided. Excitedly, Kong lets Isiol know that he would help even if the logistics are not provided. Seonhwa is also excited to help, and she tells the two that she will be in charge of cooking and magic. Isiol thanks Kang for his kind gesture and assures him that she will buy him every delicious food that he wants once they return. Isiol then asks if they can leave the day after tomorrow, and Kang agrees to this, since they are going to need a day's rest. When Kang remembers that his students are on Jeju Island, he wonders if there is a way that they are going to meet once their schedules align. The following day, Kang starts packing everything that he needs for the journey. Just then, it dawns on him that he might not be able to board the plane with his sword. At the same time, he gets a call from Siora, and Kang believes that it is the perfect timing since he can ask about the sword. Siora is shocked that Kang picked up the call once, and Kang reveals that he is taking a break from the portals. He then asks Siora if there is a way that he can get his sword on the plane. Sora initially tells Kang that he is crazy before telling him that he can show his hunter's license at the airport, and his sword will be treated as luggage. Siora then tells Kang that she was actually calling about Kang's license. She reminds Kang that it is time for him to renew his license. She urges him to hurry and renew the license because he won't be able to teach the school the following semester if he doesn't. Kang picks up his license and realizes that Siora is actually right because he has just a month left on the license. Kang wonders how Siora knows this, and Siora confesses that she was contacted by Antas some days ago. She says it was a regular call, but his name ended up coming up. Kang is surprised that Antas is still talking about him, even though he has parted ways with him. Siora then reminds him that he has gotten quite popular thanks to his recent activities. Kang is surprised that Antas knows about all of these, even though he is being careful. Siora lets him know that Antas' influence reaches everywhere, and some of the challenge letters he received were also from Antas' agency. Siora lets Kang know that Antas is currently short-staffed, and because of this, they are looking to recruit from within. Apparently, they have even told Siora to lure Kang back in by deceiving him that she accepted his proposal, but she reveals that she made an excuse quickly. Siora assures Kang that Antas won't be disturbing him again for some time. However, Kang is more interested in how she was able to get them to back off. Siora is hesitant to tell Kang, but he assures her that Siora confesses that she said something really disgusting, and this is that Kang sold her socks so she could smell them. Even though the lie was really disgusting and demeaning, Kang didn't mind as long as he got off Antas' radar. He even thanked Sayora for the assistance. The next day, Kang meets with Seonhwa and Isiol at the airport. Kang is shocked to see the crowd at the airport. Seonhwa says the airport is education system. Ezeol tells Kong that the injured hunters will soon return to work, and if they are able to work hard for a few days, they will also have some time on their hands to play. Once they landed, Ezeol's cousin Hong Yesul met up with them. Hong Yesul happily welcomes them, and she appears to be an enthusiastic girl, a completely different person from Ezeol. She even gets along well with Seonhwa rather than her own cousin. After she is tired of shenanigans, Ezeol tells Yesul to greet Kang. Yesul walks over to Kang, and she reveals her shock that Kang is just a teacher, since he is built more like a celebrity. After they are done with the whole greeting, Yesul tells them that she is going to explain the details of the mission to them as they head to the guild. Yesul explains that in the past week, loads of forces from the guild were deployed to an A-rank 10-person dungeon. However, 3 ogres appeared during the dungeon raid. In the end, the hunters managed to clear the dungeon, but one of them died in the process. However, the vice master of the guild and all 2 members with him were all injured. Some of them are suffering from the trauma of losing their comrade and have even revealed their plans to retire. Kang understands what the hunters are going through because there is no amount of magic that can heal emotional trauma. They soon arrive at the guild, and Yesul lets them know that they are free to leave their luggage in the lobby while she takes them to where they will be staying. Kang stands in front of the guild's building and expresses his shock that the guild has such a big building to itself. Yesul corrects his assumption, telling him that the guild only uses the 7th floor up to the 10th floor. Just then, the guildmaster and Ezeol's uncle, Hong Jong-sik, show up to welcome them. Ezeol asks her uncle if he is doing fine, and the man teases her, replying that he wouldn't have asked for help if he was doing fine. Jong-sik walks up to Seonhwa to ask after her father. She reveals that her father sends his greetings and lets him know that he would have come by himself if he could have. Jong-sik then turns to Kang to welcome him with a bright smile. Kang sees this and realizes that the entire family is cursed with a bright light. Once they enter the guild, Jong-sik is a quick summary of what Yesul has already told them. He then reveals that they are planning to conquer a B-grade 7-person dungeon. Apparently, the guild has a habit of deploying more than the required number of hunters into a dungeon because they value their hunters' safety. However, they are short on staff, and since they are low on numbers, he tells Kang and his team that all they can provide are 5 people. Ezeol gladly tells her uncle that the numbers are quite enough for them, and she asks Kang for his opinion. Just then, Kang reveals that 5 people alongside them are actually too many. He says 3 people should be okay to join them, and even reveals his doubt that they are being sent into a B-rank portal with additional support. Kang then finishes it by saying the profit gained from the dungeons will reduce with a high personnel involved in the raid. Jong-sik is shocked to hear all of these, and he asks Kang what his former guild is. Kang reveals that it was the Chase Guild, and after he says this, Jong-sik stares at him disgustingly, telling him that the guild's B-rank team has excellent teamwork. Jong-sik walks up to Kang, looking all menacing while berating him for suggesting that they reduce the number of personnel for the mission. Ezeol freezes in fear when she sees this because she understands that Jong-sik is pissed because he doesn't know what Kang is capable of doing. Jong-sik decides that he has to teach Kang a lesson, but being arrogant, he tells him to follow him. Ezeol tries to cut in, but her uncle tells her to stay away because the matter is all about the safety of his guild members, who will be joining them on the mission. Jong-sik believes that Kang is no more than a joker. Just then, Kang pulls out his sword to show his skills, the Aura Blade. Apparently, Kang is now getting better at using the Aura Blade after he fought in portals. Jong-sik is shocked when he sees this, since Kang is said to be a B-rank hunter. Kang tries to play a fool, saying he merely picked up the skill along the way, but it isn't perfect yet. Jong-sik finally realizes that he judged Kang before knowing him. Kang then apologizes if he sounded reckless, but he lets Jong-sik know that he and the girls have been working as a trio with no problem so far. Jong-sik then takes a minute to think about it. He realizes that it is actually a blessing if he can cut down on the number of personnel that can enter the dungeon since he is already short-staffed. While thinking about it, Seonhwa cuts in, telling Jong-sik to trust Kang because he recently won a match against her father. Kang tries to debunk this, claiming that the vice principal went easy on him, but Seonhwa maintains that he is the winner, judging by the rules set for them. Jong-sik is shocked to see that Kang was the one who managed to land a hit on Kim Man-dong. Ezeol quickly supports the conversation, saying Kang is the real deal. Jong-sik is confused that with the level of skill that Kang has, he is still B-rank. He asks Kang if there is a reason for this. Kang reveals that there is no particular reason other than the fact that he hasn't met the requirements for the promotion exam yet. Apparently, the requirement for the A-rank exam is to clear over 100 B-rank portals, and overseas activities do not count. Because of this, Kang reveals that he has not been able to take the exam. He tells Jong-sik his plan to renew his license and try to meet the requirements the following week. Jong-sik then tells Kang to make sure he takes the exam when he is liable to do so. Ezeol thanks her uncle, but Jong-sik replies that he has not backed down just yet. He still believes that Kang is not fit since he wasn't able to meet the A-rank requirements. He tells Kang that he lacks experience, even though he is pretty strong. Jungsik then reveals that he will be assigning 2 hunters with support skills and local geography for them. Kang is impressed to see that Jungsik saw through the fact that he lacked experience, and he compensated with the right personnel. Kang admits that he and his team have no synchronized formation, even though they have been working together. They have basically been opening portals and wiping out the monsters, while Seonhwa stays at the rear to buff them up. However, Yesul is now joining them, and they will also be getting 2 other hunters too. Later on, they meet the hunters who will be joining them. The dude is Han Guangho, and he is a B-rank hunter. The lady is Lee Jihye, and she is also a B-rank hunter. Apparently, the 2 are the most skilled in the areas that they meet. Guangho is in charge of monster detection, while Jihye will handle the terrain. Kang is impressed that Jungsik noticed the deficiency of a long-range fighter in the team and decided to compliment that. He admits that Jungsik might be a flashy person, but he is a pretty detailed person. Momentarily, they head into the dungeon. The dungeon is a rugged cave-type terrain, which is full of blind spots that give monsters easy access to them. The monsters present in the cave are also big red mice. Basically, the portal was postponed because it's pretty big. Guangho suggests that they run the dungeon for 2 hours, and Kang agrees to this. Moments later, Jihye notices a monster behind her, and before she can pull her bow and arrow to take it out, Kang has already slashed the monster down. With just 1 strike, he slices the mouse in half. Kang is disappointed by the appearance of the mouse because he had pictured something more funny in his head. While Usyol and Kang are talking about the mouse and the appearance, Jihye is still stunned by what happened. She realized that Kang was able to sense the monster faster than a B-rank detection, and not only that, he took down the monster without using mana. Seonhwa then asks Kang if there are more monsters in the cave, and he says yes, saying he can sense a bulk load of them in the area. Guangho then asks Kang if he also has detection skills, and Kang says yes, assuring the team that he will also provide cover. Jihye and Guangho are surprised to hear this, and it finally dawns on them just how amazing Kang is, which is why he reduced the party numbers. 2 hours after entering the portal, Guangho and Jihye find themselves chasing after Israel and Kang. The 2 have run down the monsters ahead of them and even cleared the dungeon before they know it. Jihye is forced to ask Yesul if Kang is really a B-rank hunter. Yesul says he is, but she also doesn't know him well. Yesul reveals that Yesul was the one who brought Kang, and she mentions his full name. Guangho hears his full name and realizes that he actually knows Kang. Guangho remembers challenging him to a duel once, but seeing what Kang is capable of now, he is thankful that he didn't fight Kang. Yesul then tells her friends that they will probably be walking home empty-handed since they didn't do anything during the raid. Suddenly, they hear Kang talking about how they are going to share the profit evenly. Yesul and the others remind Kang that they didn't do anything, but Kang says he doesn't mind. After all, they won't have been able to enter the dungeon without meeting the required number of hunters. He lets them know that he appreciates the fact that they trusted a stranger. Guangho realizes that Kang is genuine with his gift, and he rushes over to hug him like a brother. With this, the team continued carrying out several expeditions on the island. At the same time, Kang's students on the island have gotten the idea that he is on the island, and they have started texting him, telling him to come and meet up with them. On the 3rd day of the expedition, Guangho and the extras in the team talk about how lucky they are to have Seonhwa, Iseol, and Kang on the team, because they have been the ones doing all the work. After coming out of one of the portals, Seonhwa reminds Kang that he has an appointment. Kang reveals that he wants to meet up with his students, who came to Jeju for a vacation trip. Since he is covered in blood and monsters' dirt, Seonhwa advises him to wash up before going. Kang is glad that the team is already getting used to each other, and things are probably going to become easier the following week, since the injured hunters will be returning. Guangho then asks Kang if he needs a car to go see his students. Kang says there is no need for this since he plans to take a taxi, but Guangho insists that he take his car, since this is the least he can do to help. Kang takes the car, and while he is on his way to meet the students, he puts a call through to them. The students are excited that their teacher is finally coming to meet them. He asks them if they need anything while also asking if they are all together. Jinsu reveals that one of the twins, Onseo, came down with a fever, and she stayed back at the inn. Jinsu reveals that they will be back at the inn in an hour, and Kang lets them know that he is fine with the timing. When he asks them again what they want, they start screaming a whole bunch of stuff on the phone, and Kang is forced to drop the call. However, he heard that they wanted beef, and he decided to stop by the supermarket to grab some drinks and snacks for the kids. Just then, he notices that there is bad traffic on the highway, leaving him to wonder what might be wrong. He comes across a checkpoint, but instead of police officers, he realizes that there are soldiers there. He then asks one of the soldiers what happened and why there is bad traffic. The soldier reveals that a monster escaped during a raid near a dungeon close to the area. Apparently, the hunters sent to contain the monster failed to contain it, which is why they are locking down the entire area. Kang doesn't think too much of it before he suddenly realizes that Unseo is at the inn. Kang asks the soldier about the range of the lockdown, and he reveals that the entire district is on lockdown. Kang is asked if he is a resident inside the lockdown. He says no, but he has someone in an inn located in the area. The soldier then suggests that he call Unseo. After a few seconds, Unseo picks up the call. With a weird voice, he asks Unseo where she is. Unseo reveals that she is at the inn, and Kang urges her to carefully listen to what he is about to tell her. He lets Unseo know that a monster escaped from a nearby portal and that almost everyone is evacuated. Kang urges Unseo not to leave the inn since the entire area will be quiet. The soldiers mention that the monster that escaped is the Shadow Reaper, and Kang knows just how dangerous the Shadow Reaper is. Basically, the Shadow Reaper is a B-rank dungeon boss monster. It possesses stealth abilities and a considerable amount of power, which makes it a tricky beast to face. Kang repeats the instructions, telling Unseo not to leave the inn no matter what, so the Shadow Reaper doesn't see her. Just then, Unseo asks her teacher if the Shadow Reaper carries a large scythe, and also wears a black robe. Kang confirms this, believing that Unseo paid attention in class. However, Unseo tells him that he is wrong, because for some reason, he is basically staring at the Shadow Reaper. Unseo then adds that it is going to be hard for her to avoid the monster. Kang gets more upset when he hears this, as he asks Unseo for more details. Unseo then tells the teacher that she is not the only one in the area. It turns out that there are some kids hiding behind a car who failed to evacuate when everyone was leaving. The Shadow Reaper is right behind the car where the kids are hiding. Out of fear, one of the kids makes a tiny sound, catching the attention of the Shadow Reaper. The Shadow Reaper raises its scythe, ready to slash the kids, but Unseo hits it with an energy blast to get its attention. Unseo immediately tells Kang that he needs to get to her and fast. She lets her teacher know that she won't be able to run for long, thanks to the fever messing with her. Before Kang knows it, he loses reception with Unseo, and he starts screaming on the phone, trying to reach her. Kang turns to the soldiers, telling them that he might be a teacher, but he is also a hunter who is currently working with the Hayrang Guild. He asks the soldiers if there is a way for him to get through the traffic. But since the traffic is really bad, he might have to wait till the cars ahead of him ahead of him to move. Kang spots a route in the bush and points to the soldiers way that he is going to pass her. Meanwhile, Guang Ho and the team are having fun after a successful expedition in the dungeons. Guang Ho is enjoying cups of beer, and he invites Jihei, who reluctantly accepts, even though she doesn't drink beer. She claims that she was really thirsty for anything because of the 3-day marathon. Guang Ho is also glad that Kang is helping out because he will be able to pay off his car loan in no time. He even sees himself getting rich in no time. Apparently, he bought the car with a 36-month installment plan, and because Kang is helping them clear the dungeons faster, he knows he is going to earn a lot. Guang Ho believes that Kang will also be with his students. But unknown to him, Kang has turned his car into an off-road vehicle as he uses it to clear a path through the rough terrain. At the same time, Unseo is trying to get away from the Shadow Reaper that is now after her life. She remembers what Kang told them in class about avoiding the urge to be a hero because it might end up causing more problems. Back then, Unseo had asked what they could do in situations where they had Kang told them to assess their surroundings, and after this, they should try to make a run for it. Unseo questions why they need to assess the surroundings when they are going to run away. Kang replied that this is to help them know exactly where to run to increase their chances of survival. Kang also has a thing for making the students run every single day without fail. Unseo and the others have always questioned his decision to make them run every day. But now that she's in a tight spot and trying to get away from the Shadow Reaper, she realizes that Kang has been trying to prepare them for situations like this. She narrowly missed death, which is thanks to Kang's teachings. Unseo moved just at the right time to avoid being killed by the monster's sight. Unseo knows how dangerous Shadow Reaper is. She escaped a miracle. And this makes her remember why she wanted to become a hunter in the first place. Initially, she wanted to become a because her sister came too. Her sister was shocked the day she found out that Unseo came to the hunter school because of her. Her sister then reminds her of something that she had forgotten since she was a kid. Apparently, when they were younger, Unseo watched documentaries about people who lost their families to monsters. Moved by this, Unseo mentioned that she wanted to become a hunter to help prevent such an occurrence from happening. Unseo doesn't remember it, but her sister does. This was why Unseo's sister also decided to become a hunter, in order to protect her younger sister. Unseo knows that she would have had the time to escape if she had ignored the kids, but she knows she won't be able to face her sister when she returns home. Oncio screams at the kids to get to the nearest
Vorsichtig
hospital
Prozess
and lures the
abgeschlossen.
monster
Verbindung
away.
von außen getrennt.
Suddenly, Uncio notices that
Das
the
Terminal wurde
monster is
abgeschnitten.
Uncio immediately stops to assess the situation, and this is when she remembers that the Shadow Reaper is Before she knows it, the Shadow Reaper appears behind her. Uncio is already caught in the monster's shadow, and there is no escape for her. She can only watch as the Shadow Reaper raises its scythe, ready to decapitate her. At that moment, Kang appears in the distance, driving recklessly toward them, and he hits the Shadow Reaper with the car. 3 minutes earlier, Kang was tracking down Uncio's position using his Kai. Using his key, he is able to determine the figures that are humans, and the particular figure that is the monster. Kang believes that nothing serious will happen to Uncio since she appears. However, he remembers that some things have not been adding up. Things like Seora leaving undone, or Uncio's decision to go to school. Kang believes that the actions he has taken so far might cause a butterfly effect, make Uncio's fate become unpredictable. Not ready to accept this reality, Kang stepped on the gas and to track down the monster. The moment he locked onto the Shadow Reaper, he pushed the car to its limit as he cut through the tree, and he hit the Shadow Reaper in the car. Kang jumps out of the car and heads straight for the Shadow Reaper. He is pissed that there is a monster trying to hurt his
Systemfehlfunktion.
He hits the Shadow Reaper with so much anger that it blows it to the ground. Kang looks like a scary villain before finishing off the Shadow Reaper with just his bare
Aktiviert.
Oncio witnessed this, leaving her totally stunned. Kang ends up in the water beside them, alongside the Shadow Reaper's dead body. Kang finally emerges from the water, heaving a sigh of relief that he made it just in time to save his student, because she definitely would have been done for if he had arrived just in time. Kang climbs out of the river, casually asking Oncio if she is fine. Before he knows it, Oncio jumps into his arms with tears in her eyes. Kang realizes that the girl must have been really scared, even though she stood up for the kids. Kang urges her not to cry since she wasn't hurt. Oncio then reminds Kang of the car that has ended up at the bottom of the river. Kang pats her on the head, telling her that it is just a car. The only thing is that he is glad that she is safe. Meanwhile, the car owner is sleeping soundly in his room, not knowing that his car is totally wrecked. Momentarily, the news about the defeat of the Shadow Reaper spread quickly, thanks to the kids who ran to report it. In no time, several vehicles from the military, medical staff, and the like arrive on the scene. Kang and Uncio sit behind an ambulance, and Kang asks Uncio if she will call her parents. But Uncio says no, because they might just make her come back home and end the trip. Kang understands where she's coming from, and he commends her for being a hero. However, he is worried that she could have been hurt. Uncio reminds her teacher that he saved her. Kang then teases her, asking her what she would have done if he had arrived even a minute late. Uncio then decides to taunt her teacher with his handsome face. Uncio jumps out of the back of the ambulance, telling Kang that she can see him. She thanks him for the help, and before Kang can stop her, the police officer shows up. The police officer informs Kang that he has recovered the teacher's corpse. The police then asks him to investigate the importance of the The police officer is impressed to hear this, and he salutes Kang, telling him that things would definitely have gone south had he killed the Shadow Reaper. Kang doesn't think it is something that requires much appreciation, but the police officer lets him know that it does, and he urges Kang to follow him to the police headquarters so he can write a report on what happened. He assures Kang that it won't take long, and Kang agrees to it. Kang heads to the headquarters, thinking everything will be fast. But before he knows it, he finds himself talking to the governor, the police chief, and even the guildmaster who allowed the monster to escape. Kang cannot believe that they interviewed him separately when they could have done it all at once. Kang's mood changes for the better when he learns that he is going to be compensated for what he did. Apparently, the guild that mismanaged the monster promised to pay for the Shadow Reaper corpse and also give Kang a reward. In addition to this, they said they would buy a new car for Guang Ho because his car was wrecked. In all of these, the governor also reveals his plan to put together a Righteous Person award for Kang. Kang wants the money but doesn't want the award. The governor tries to convince him that he deserves the award since he did well. Kang is trying to avoid the award because he knows that this will put him on Antis' radar. Since the governor is insistent, he tells the governor to give the award to Uncio, since she risked her life to lure the monster away. The governor finally agrees to this, and after this, the police officer tells Kang that he is willing to take him wherever he is going. Kang then asks if the butcher shop will still be open because his students want to eat beef. Momentarily, Kang meets up with his students with the beef. They waste no time grilling the beef and start consuming it. Kang sits in the distance, admiring how good his students are. The students soon offer Kang the chance to stay the night. He tries to dodge the chance, but they insist, telling him that he can also follow them to the beach the next day. Kong finally agrees, and he asks the kids to play board games with him. The next day, Kong joins the students on the beach. He sits on the beach chair while the students play in the water. Kong cannot believe that the students still have enough to play around, even though they stayed up late. He's already once the semester resumes. Just then, Jinsu and the others cook up a plan. They leave the water and walk up to their teacher, asking him if he is bored. Kong replies that he is fine where he is, but the students have other plans. They all try to grab him at the same time, but they are no match for him as he easily moves away from the chair, leaving them to catch the air. The students are not ready to give up, even though Kang is pretty elusive, as they continue chasing after him. Kong casually tells them that they are still not at the level of the Kong then tells Jinsu to follow him, to watch over the others. Jinsu's sister Jinsu is shocked when she hears this, asking Kong if he is showing favoritism to Jinsu. Kong casually tells his sister. Kong continues walking away, telling them to stay put while he is gone. Jinsu asks Kong if he plans to leave the girls to themselves, and he says yes. Jinsu is glad that he is close to the teacher because he could have ended up just like the girls. While Kong and Jinsu are gone, Onseo resorts to a terrible method to keep the girls at bay. She places sandcups on their arms, telling them not to move until the teacher returns. The girls are obviously frustrated, but they can't do anything since Onseo is in charge while the teacher is away. As if things are not bad enough for the girls already, some female praying dudes arrive at the beach and immediately focus their attention on the girls. The dudes ask the girls if they are willing to hang out with them, but the girls ignore them and look at them disgustingly, which is a clear sign telling them to back off. However, the dudes do not want to take no for an answer as they try to sweet-talk their way to get the girls' attention. The girls are forced to reveal that they are minors. But even with this, the dudes are not ready to back down. They are offered drinks, but the girls still refuse to take the drinks. One of the annoying dudes grabs the brown-haired girl and she angrily twists his arm, causing him intense pain before running through the rest of the dudes like they are nothing. Apparently, hunters are punished when they get into a fight with civilians, and this applies to hunters because their strength is incomparable to that of civilians. In the end, the girl didn't kill the dudes because everything that happened was just her imagination running through the dudes. She even tells one of the guys that she has already imagined beating him to a pulp, but the dude just won't back off. The girl wishes that she could just move because she would have beaten the crap out of the delinquents. Just then, Kong returns to the beach, and he is surprised to see some dudes with his students. Kong is surprised that he has been gone for just a few minutes and he is already upside down. The leader of the delinquents sees Kong and immediately walks over like he is some mafia boss. He starts making fun of Kong's face, saying he looks like a snake. Kong doesn't overreact and he tries to talk to the dude nicely, but he is so annoying that he is not making a move to walk away. Kong urges the dude to move on since the girls have already Kong calls him a pathetic loser, and this pisses him off. He believes that Kong is trying to look cool in front of him, and he decides to teach him a lesson. He tried reaching for Kong, but Kong easily grabbed his arm and twisted it to cause him immense pain. The other delinquent comes running over to Kong, but he easily dodges him while still enjoying his popsicle. Kang then reads out the school's article, 10 for them, which mandates him to protect his students in the face of danger. The last guy on the team immediately feels on the trail other than the hunter, he pulls out his phone and wants to report that hunters are attacking civilians. Kang takes another pressure pump before getting the phone from him, telling him that he can gladly help him call the cops. The delinquents realize that they have done it and try to run away, but Kang stops them. Momentarily, Kang's police friend shows up and Kang explains the situation. Kang has already restricted them in ways that they cannot escape. After getting his report, the police officer grabs the delinquents and pushes them into his car. The police officer assures Kang that they will handle the delinquents, and Kang is free to enjoy the rest of his stay on the island. Jinsu expresses his shock that their teacher knows this, and Kang explains that he only met him by luck after the Shadow Reaper incident. This makes Kang even cooler in front of his students as they all praise him. Kong wants to leave, but the students insist that he play with them. The teacher agrees, and the students rush off to the beach. Gunso is the only one to stay behind, and just then, she notices a lady talking to Kang. The lady tells Kang that she has been watching him for quite some time. With her face red, she tells Kang that he is a cool dude. She then asks Kang if it is possible for her to get his number. Kang is blown away when he hears this, leaving him so stunned that he has no way to recover from the situation. He doesn't even know what to say, and he starts to stutter. Before Kong gets the chance to save the situation, Onseo grabs him by the arm and drags him away after telling the lady that Kong is seeing someone. Kong tries to protest since Onseo is about to leave, but Onseo doesn't care as she continues to drag him. Once they are away from the lady, Onseo turns around and pushes out his tongue to kiss the lady. Kong even wants Onseo to let him go, but she refuses, saying Kong will Kang admits that she is not entirely wrong about it. Just then, the lady brings out her phone and she puts a call through to someone
System
suspicious,
reaktiviert.
telling them that she is found
System
The
fehlt.
person on the other end of the phone turns out to be the former spear instructor, Zhong, who holds a serious beef against Kang, and he wants to do everything to kill him.
System wiederhergestellt.
Kang and his team prepare to head back to Seoul.
System
The kids
gedrosselt.
have been sent ahead while the adults make preparations to join them. Just as promised, Wang Ho gets a new loaded car. Kang and the team also join the A-rank members of the guild that have just returned, and they all raided an A-rank portal. Meanwhile, Onseo also received the Brave Citizen Award on Kang's behalf. However, Kang's name got mentioned in the report that he was the one who took down the monster, but the spotlight remained on Unseo. When Chonhua is ready to go, she promises to cook Yasul a nice, delicious dish the next time they see each other. Jungsik also praises Kang for his help and admits that he initially doubted his strength. Jungsik then lets Kang know that no matter how much effort he puts into finding his strength, he will get it eventually. He urges him to prepare himself for the day it happens. Jungsik then urges him to make sure that the next time they meet,
System wiederhergestellt.
Kang smiles, saying he will try his best to make sure this happens. With this, Kang and his team return to Seoul. Meanwhile, Jungsik has an S-rank file with him, and it seems he is already projecting Kang.
Vermutlich sinnlos,
The
aber
moment he
checken Sie zur
returns to
Sicherheit den
Seoul,
Server.
Kang doesn't waste time before visiting his master. He apologizes for coming later than expected. He explains to the old man that he has a ton of work that he has to do. Cho notices that Kang's skin is tan, and he assumes that Kang has been working under the sun, not knowing that Kang was enjoying
Ich
himself
schicke die
under an
geborgenen
umbrella at the
Daten
beach.
sicherheitshalber zu unseren
Cho's is
Technikern.
surprised that Kang brought a lot of supplies.
Das
He
Museum ist
figures out that
gesichert.
he's about to
Sehr gut.
disappear for weeks
Hoffen wir,
again.
dass sich etwas Nützliches
Kang
aus den
assures the
Daten
man that
herausfiltern
he is
lässt.
not going anywhere, and that he will be around more often. He tells Cho that he has his license exam the next day, but he will be back in the next couple of days to check on it. However, he will only be able to come over once a week again, once the semester begins.
Offenbar verschanzen
After
sich die
this,
Black
Cho
Tusks
tells
auf dem
Kang that he
Plaza.
wants to make
Das
ramen,
ist gar
and
nicht
he
gut.
asks him if he is
Ich habe ihn
interested,
für Sie auf
but
Ihrer
Kang
Karte
says no.
markiert.
Kang crashes to the ground, saying he is tired, and urges the man to enjoy himself. While lying in the snow, Kang realizes that it has been 6 months since he met the old man. He figures out that the story will kick off in 1 year and 6 months, and this is when Seong discovered the secrets that made him strong. However, he discovered it 6 months later, which means there are still at least 2 years before he finds his path. Nonetheless, Kang feels something heavy in his chest. He knows that Cho might suddenly die since he didn't appear in the original story. Suddenly, Cho catches Kang staring at him, and he assumes that he is staring at the noodles that he is preparing. He scolds Kang for staring at his food when he said he was not interested. Kang is forced to reiterate the fact that he is not interested. Suddenly, Kang gets back on his feet, and he tells Cho that he forgot something in the car. Kang rushes out of the snowy plains because he forgot about the Kaoliang liquor that he put in the trunk of the car. He is stressed with the fact that he has to climb down the mountain to get it, but he is ready to do anything for his master. Kang whips out his phone, and he is shocked to see that he has a ton of notifications. There are 30 missed calls and 50 texts on his phone, leaving him stunned. Kang wants to believe that he is being pranked or something. He knows that he usually gets some missed messages and calls whenever he comes out of the portal, but the ones he is currently looking at are way too strange. He is still wondering what might be wrong when Siora's call comes through. Kang excitedly picks up the call, but the first thing he hears from Siora is her calling him a scumbag. Kang is surprised to hear this, but Siora continues by calling him a piece of trash, whom she expected so much from. Kang is utterly surprised, and he asks Siora what she is talking about, but Siora screams at him not to play dumb, because what he did is already all over the news.
Agent fordert Verstärkung
After
an.
she is done calling him trash, she drops the call. Kang continues calling her name, but she is already gone. Kang stands there in confusion as he has no idea why Siora is talking trash to him. Just then, Kang sees a news article talking about why he refused the Brave Citizen Award. Someone had posted an article online that Kang is having a relationship with Unseo, which is why he rejected the award and had her collect it on his behalf. There is an image of Unseo hugging him, which is attached to the article. Kang's eyes light up in shock when he realizes the news is already all over. To make it worse, Kang's identity and image are already circulating all over the internet. The image of Kang and Unseo together in Jeju is also trending everywhere. Unknown to everybody, the person who posted the article and driving the agenda is none other than the lady working with Jong. Kang screams out in rage when he sees the rumor flying around concerning him being a shameless teacher. Kang is still trying to contain his emotions when he gets a call from the vice principal. He picks up the call, and the vice principal reveals that he has been trying to get a hold of him. Kang reveals that he was inside a portal, which is why he wasn't available. Meanwhile, Kim Mandong's phone is on the loudspeaker and it is placed on his table. Kang asks him if he has seen the article, and the vice principal says yes, but he assures Kang that he knows that he is not that type of person. However, the vice principal points out that the situation concerns the reputation of the school. Since he didn't handle their sparring match very well, Kim Man-dong lets Kang know that he is ready to back him up. Kim Man-dong then asks Kang what he plans to do. Kang replies that he is going to find whoever it is and make them pay for saying trash about his student. Kang then tells the vice principal to hang up because he wants to properly assess the situation. Man-dong acknowledges this and drops the call. It turns out that Yoon-seo's mother is in his office and she heard the conversation. Man-dong assures the crying woman that Kang is a man of his word and that he will definitely turn the situation around. Apparently, the name that published the article is Nam Ji-min, but Kang doesn't know the name since it doesn't appear anywhere in the original story. Nonetheless, Kang is pissed that an unknown identity just turned his life upside down. He realizes that the new situation is a side story that was formed because of his actions. Just as he suspected, the system informs him about the side story, which is titled The Shameless Teacher. Meanwhile, Jong is behind his screen, making sure that the articles reach every corner of the country so he can finish Kang off. Kang, on the other hand, is enraged, and he knows that whoever the culprit is, they're pretty fucked when he lays his hands on them. Cho is busy enjoying his ramen when Kang returns to the snowy plains. Kang immediately tells him that he will be dropping the liquor, but he is heading out. Cho is blown away by his student's brilliance, and Kang lets him know that he will be back the following week. Just as he is about to step out of the portal, Cho stops him, telling him not to kill anyone. It turns out that Cho can see the rage on Kang's face even if he is trying to hide it. Kang takes his master's words and then heads out. While driving on the highway, Kang starts putting together all those who were with him in Jeju. He knows that Seonhwa and Iseol are the two people who can basically vouch for him. However, he knows that people tend to focus more on what they see and not what they hear. Kang's main problem is how he is going to explain the photos that were released of him and Yoon-seo together. Since the first image has some soldiers there, he thinks of getting statements from the officers in charge. He knows that he is going to have a hard time tracking them all down, but he doesn't mind. The main problem is the image of him locking arms with Eun-seo on the beach. He remembers that it happened for just a moment, and it shocks him that someone was able to capture the moment. He figures out that the person who captured it obviously wanted to manufacture something that isn't there. Kang tries reaching the said reporter who posted the article, but the number keeps dropping. Even though he is troubled, he realizes that he has to renew his hunter's license first. He enters the building to find it packed with other hunters, who are probably there to clear dungeons or renew their licenses too. Kang has only his sword with him, and he walks up to the attendant to tell him that he is there to renew his hunter's license. The attendant asks to see his ID, and the moment the attendant sees the name, he recognizes Kang. The other hunters also recognize him, and they start wondering why the piece of trash is there. Kang lets the attendant know that he has already checked on his way to the facility and that there is an open slot where he can take the test. The attendant says he has no issues signing him up since he is there to renew his license. However, he tells him that the hunters are pissed off at what happened, and not all of them are ready to work with Kang. Basically, none of the hunters want to be grouped with trash like Kang. The hunters have also looked into Kang, and they have found out that he didn't attend a hunter school either. Everything is basically working against Kang at the moment. Kang cannot believe that everyone already knows his face, and this includes people he has never met in the past. His face has been plastered everywhere with a very bad tag. All the gossip sites and the bloggers were enjoying themselves as they spread Kang's pictures everywhere. Kang realizes that with the way things are going, he will end up getting harassed for the rest of his life. Kang is already frustrated, and he tells the attendant to put him into any group that is available since he doesn't mind. In fact, he is ready to go solo if that is what it takes. The attendant finally decides to assign him to Team E. When Team E learns of this, they start protesting, telling the attendant that they don't need the trash in their team. The attendant urges the hunters to calm their nerves. Since Kang has promised to go solo, he urges them to just ignore him as if he doesn't exist. The attendant then takes him to a portal, telling him that he needs to clear it if he wants his license renewed. Apparently, the portal is a B-rank portal, and Kang is the first to enter. Kang thanks the assistant for his help and proceeds into the dungeon. The attendant tells him not to leave the safe zone before the others on the team join him. The team is disgusted by Kang's presence and decides to stay back a little. They hate Kang so much that one of them even thinks of knocking Kang on the head when they enter the portal. Momentarily, the attendant tells the rest of the team that it is time for them to enter the dungeon, since it's been 20 minutes already. The attendant informs them that they have 3 hours to clear the dungeon. Team E finally steps into the portal and is shocked by what they meet inside. The sky was already cleared, and it was just the 20-minute mark. They don't want to believe that a B-rank, 6-person portal was just cleared in under 20 minutes. The team is still trying to figure out what happened when they spot Kang appear from behind some bushes. He has blood all over him, and his sword is stained with blood everywhere. Kang walks up to the A-rank hunter, who is the leader of the team, scolding him for condemning him when he doesn't even know if he is guilty or not. The A rank is stunned, and he asks Kang if he cleared the dungeon alone. Kang says he was rushing, which was why he had to take care of the monsters as fast as he could. He tells the team that he has already killed the monsters, so the cleanup and disposal are left to them. The A rank hunter finally realizes that Kang might actually be overpowered since he didn't bring any gear into the dungeon. Just then, Kang moves closer to him with a terrifying aura, telling him that he wants half of the money that will be made in the dungeon. Since he is leaving to attend to other things, he demands that they send the payment to his account. Thought Kang could easily be preyed on because he is not from a hunter school. This caused the school to get so many duel requests, and because of what he faced thanks to the YouTube video, Mandong understands why Kang would want to avoid getting himself in the spotlight. Kang is shocked when he sees the video, as he didn't expect Kim Mandong to go all out for him. Lim then tells Kang that the videos alone should be enough proof that Kang is innocent. Lim tells Kang that she is going to write the article and publish it in no time. She assures him that the misunderstanding will be gone before the school semester ends. Before Lim leaves, she tells Kang that she contacted the news outlet that first posted the article. They revealed that the reporter named Nam Jimin wasn't the one who wrote the article. Apparently, someone hacked into their system to post the scandalous article. Lim asks Kang if he's made any enemies lately, but nothing of significance comes to his mind. Lim then tells him to be careful because he is probably being targeted, and the next time might be something physical, unlike the news article. Lim basically urges Kang to be careful because she doesn't want to see him as a headline again. Kang thanks her for the advice, and this concludes their meeting. Later that night, Kang lies in bed with relief that Yunseo's name has been cleared. However, he is still worried about who it is that might want to hurt him. He doesn't like the fact that the said person dragged his student, who is a kid, into the whole thing. He basically joined the school so he could have an easy life, but he has found himself caring about his students. Just then, he gets a notification on his phone. He checks out the message, and it turns out to be a solidarity message from his students. They all attach images of where they are holding Kang, or where he did something good for them, claiming that they are also his girlfriend, if an image of him and Unseo automatically makes them a couple. Jinsu shows an image of himself and the teacher eating ice cream together, and says this is a perfect representation of his love life with the teacher. Kang sees this, and he is moved to tears. He realizes that he only wanted an easy life, which is why he became a teacher, but somehow, the students have become a part of him, even though he doesn't think he has done anything special for them. He can't believe that his students are always there to support him, even if the whole world turned its back on him. He realizes that it is not only the students who have his back, but the vice principal, Jongsik, Izio, Seonhwa, and basically everyone he has met. Kang shed tears without holding back and admitted that he must have been living a good life for them to stand up for him. Just then, he receives a text from Seora, apologizing to him for calling him trash. She then tells Kang that she has managed to help in the way she can. She leaves an address and password in the text she sent to Kang, telling him that whatever he finds there will definitely solve most of his problems. It turns out that Seora has turned herself into Catwoman and has managed to track down Jong and her accomplice. She has tied them up in a warehouse after shaving part of their hair and is just waiting for Kang to come and find them. Shortly afterward, Kang arrives at the warehouse to find Jong and his accomplice, the lady from the beach. They have been tied to a chair, and Seora also put duct tape on their mouths. Kang sees a laptop on the table and uses the password Seora gave him to check out the laptop. He is horrified when he realizes that Jong has cooked up a lot of bad images and articles to destroy him. It turns out that Jong was still bitter about his loss in the duel and had been acting recklessly toward Kang because of it. Kang wastes no time before calling the police to the scene. While Jong is being led to the car, Jong tells Kang that he will be back for him, and he threatens to start with the people around him. The moment Kang hears this, he goes into feral mode and he grabs Jong by his shirt, daring him to come after him again. Kang initially tells him that he is going to beat him to a pulp, but he changes it up and lets him know that if he tries to mess with the people around him, he is going to send him to God for judgment. Jong can sense the killing instinct coming from Kang, and this scares the crap out of him. The policemen are forced to drag Kang away so he doesn't tear Jong's head off right there. Later on, a news report comes out vindicating Kang of everything that he was accused of. Thanks to the testimonies of the big names, the public opinion on Kang totally changed for the better. Kang visits his master, and he tells him what happened. Cho is disappointed that people switched up on him without even waiting for conflict. Cho then admits that a rumor is fake. Cho also tells Kang that students are pretty commendable for going to such lengths for him. Kang then tells the old man that he considers himself lucky about it. The school even told him to take a leave of absence, but he refused because he didn't want his students to worry. Cho praises him for his ingenuity, telling him that he has to repay their kindness with his good teachings. Because of this, Kang tells the old man that he has a request. He asks him if he knows about the 3-talent sword method. This is a sword method composed of the basic skills of horizontal cut, vertical cut, and thrust. It is basically a lowly rated martial art, but Kang believes that it would be good to teach the kids. He wants to know if the old man has any idea about the skill. Cho replies that he doesn't know the 3-talent sword method, and he questions Kang's curiosity about it when he has not even finished learning the one he is currently learning. Kang then explains better to Cho, and Cho finally realizes that he was talking about the usual sword class method. Cho is totally confused because of the use of talents in the name. Kang then asks the old man if he knows any other technique aside from the one he has learned. Cho says yes, but he wants to know why Kang wants it. Kang reveals that he wants to teach his students so he can know that he has finally done something special for them. Cho disputes this, saying it is not a must for him to teach the martial arts. Cho then reveals that there was something to the Wudang Mountain many years back. Kang is curious about what it is, and Cho reveals that the dude was good at medicinal herbs, which pushed him to produce amazing medicinal potions. Apparently, Cho was given the go-ahead to give it to his disciple if he ever took one under his wings. Kang is surprised that Cho didn't give it to him in the first place, and Cho lets him know that he has already helped him build his physique past the stage where he needs it. Kang believes that it is his, but Cho corrects him, telling him that the herbs might not be. Cho lets him know that it is easy to prepare, and he considers it the best gift that Kang can give his students. Cho then asks him if he is willing to learn it, and he says yes. When Kang resumes class, the herb is the first thing he gives to his students. After a sip, they start vomiting it up, as they complain that it tastes like poison. Kang cannot believe that the punks he calls his students are vomiting what should be helping their bodies. Jinsu also complains, but Kang doesn't waste time punishing him with an extra lap during their running activities. Kang lets them know that they have no choice because for the next 2 months, the first thing they will do is to drink the medicinal concoction. However, he lets them know that they are free not to drink it if that is what they really want. When Jinsu hears this, he realizes that it might actually be good for him if he drinks it. Since they are not in the class to take lectures for the day, Kang suggests that they say their goodbyes and disperse the class. The class president, Wing Min-hee, stands up and the entire class follows. Just like a military salute, the students pay their respects to Kang, urging him to take care of them just like he did the past semester. The students start praising him, telling him that he is handsome and that he shouldn't quit. It finally dawned on Kang that the students were worried that he was going to quit the school. Once the students figure out that they still have their teacher with them, they finally disperse from the class. After the kids are gone, Seora shows up in the class. Kang is surprised and he asks her why she has come to see him. It turns out that Antas is now seriously interested in Kang and they have sent Seora again. Kang already knew that they were going to come because he had made lots of noise in the recent months. Realizing that the situation is now dire, Kang calls out some names for Seora to hear. Seora is initially confused until Kang reveals that the names are the key figures in Antas. He wants Seora to warn Antas to back off, or else he will expose their top key figures. Seora is shocked to hear this, and she asks Kang how he knows the things that he knows. Kang replies that he simply did an investigation on his own. He also assures Seora that Antas won't touch her because they will be safe. Kang remembers what Jung-sik told him about how he can't hide forever. Kang has now come to the realization that he has connected with so many people that there is no longer a coming back for him. Kang has finally accepted the fact that the original story has changed because of everything he has done from the beginning. Since this is the case, Kang has made up his mind to leave his attachment to the original stories and just make changes where necessary. Seora hears him talking about this, but it sounds like gibberish to her, and Kang is not even ready to explain. He simply tells her that he is looking forward to the new semester with her. Kang walks away smiling because he is just about to finally start his life. Soon afterward, Kang's students start seeing the importance of the medicinal herb that Kang is feeding them. The herbal tonic was given another name among them, which is the bitter water. Some of them have their grades go up, which is thanks to the medicinal concoction. Because of how bitter it is, most of them started using it to prevent drowsiness and also aid their digestion. The students have also had their stamina go up before the midterm exams. Everyone was surprised when the sword class achieved a crushing result. The other teachers are forced to ask Kang what it is that he fed his students to totally change them. Apparently, the students are almost at the same level as the third-year Ranger Majors. Kang is glad to be receiving the praise, but at the same time, he plans to make the students work harder since they have gotten stronger than before. In no time, they reached the end of the second semester. On the final day of class, Kang tells his students not to go on break and start playing around because there is a midterm evaluation after the holiday ends. Once the announcement is over, the students scatter and head home. Just then, Kang notices that Yunseo and Yunsu are staying back. He asks them why they are not going with their mates, and the two reveal that they have something that they need to tell him. The two tell Kang that they are planning to apply for the martial arts tournaments, and they want to know where their teacher stands on it. Apparently, the martial arts tournament is an open tournament to all students from all hunter schools in the country. Since there are no rankings there, the third years usually get the best results. Kong then remembers that they talked about the tournament during the faculty meeting some days ago, but his mind had totally skipped it. This is because he wasn't expecting his students, who are first-year students, to be interested in the tournament. The girls reveal that they want to apply in advance since the preliminary stage starts by November. They are conflicted about it, which is why they need Kang's advice to see if it is a good idea or not. Kang tells the two that they might have difficulties against the second and third year students, who already have experience in the competition. The girls agree with him, saying that they are going to end up tarnishing his image if they attend the competition. Kang is shocked to hear this, and he demands an explanation for what they just said. Apparently, when Kim Se-jin was still a first-year student, she tried applying, but her teacher back then restricted her, telling her that it would be a disgrace to his name if she went into the competition to lose. However, Kim Se-jin didn't give up, and she was able to later get approval from the vice principal. Kang is impressed by this, and he realizes that her resilience is one of the
Es
reasons why
gibt
she
viel
is the student
Aktivität der
council
Black Tusk
president.
bei diesem
Kang then
Metroeingang.
tells the girls
Beseitigen
that
Sie
they are
feindliche
free to
Elemente
register
aus
in the
der Gegend.
competition because he doesn't care about his trash reputation. The two are happy to hear this, and Kang urges them to pass the preliminaries. Kang also urges them not to skip these special classes that will be organized for the competition. The girls are surprised to hear this, and they ask Kang if he will be the one teaching them. Kang replies that he has no idea who is in charge, but it is not him. The girls demand to know why he is not the one in charge. Kang reminds them that he is a rookie, and they will most likely pick an experienced teacher for the program. The girls are not pleased with the standard since they consider Kang to be the best swordsmanship teacher in the entire school. Kang knows that the girls are trying to flatter him.
Agent braucht Verstärkung.
He assures them that he has no interest in pursuing. Because the special classes are in the evening and on weekends, it is a no-no for Kang. With a bright smile on his face, Kang tells the girls that he is going to submit their list to the vice principal, so all they need to do is prepare themselves for the competition. Kang reaches the vice principal's office only to get hit with another shocker. Apparently, the vice principal has appointed Kang to be in charge of the special classes. Kang tries to dodge the responsibility by reminding the vice principal that he is a rookie and other experienced teachers should be put in charge. But Kim Man-dong insists that Kang is the special lesson teacher. It turns out that Kim Man-dong has spoken to all of the potential teachers, but they all turned down the offer.
Registriere zusätzliche
Kim Man-dong
Feindkontakte.
realizes that Kang is being difficult, and he suggests that they make a deal just like the last time. Kang replies that Kim Man-dong wasn't ready to honor the deal that they made, and because of this, he is doubtful of making another deal with Kim Man-dong. Man-dong then mentions something peculiar. He learned that Kang has not met the conditions for the A-rank promotion test yet. Kang agrees with this, but says he is already aiming for the following year. Man-dong then smiles, telling Kang that he has an opportunity for him to be promoted to A rank without delay. Kang hears this. The vice principal reveals that a recommendation from him and S1 will give him the chance to be promoted. Man-dong is pretty sure that Kang is going to pass. The deal is a very sweet one for Kang to just overlook. He knows that becoming a hunter means more money for him. Kang then asks if he can adjust the schedule, since he is not going to be available on Sundays. Once they are in agreement, Kang steps out of the office. Kang intentionally accepted the offer just because he knew that he stares at the list in front of him, and he realizes that two of the current applicants are from the first year, while the last student, Kim Se-jin, is from the third-year class. Since Kang has not seen Kim Se-jin since the duel, he hopes that she is doing well for herself. Meanwhile, Kim Se-jin is training herself to the death just so she can catch up to Kang's level. When Kang goes to the snowy plains, he tells the old man of his plans to train harder, leaving him shocked. He wonders why someone who has always resisted training is suddenly training more. He even suspects that he had killed someone and was running away from the authorities. Kang can only explain that he wants to get stronger than what he originally planned to be. Since he has decided that he will start making his own decisions, Kang wants to get stronger in case of any blowback. He also doesn't know what would happen when the world goes into chaos, but he wants to be ready to protect those close to him. Just then, he asks the old man if he can now read the writing from the outside world, and Cho says yes, claiming that it is not difficult. Just then, Kang shows the old man a swordsmanship book, telling him to take a look at it. Cho takes a look at the said swordsmanship textbook used in the outside world and concludes that it is nothing but trash. He says the techniques in the book are not even worth being considered third-rate martial arts. Kang smiles and realizes that the old man thinks the same as him, and he tells the old man that his decision to stay in the snowy plains for the entire race is not for his own self-interest. Apparently, he had come up with an idea when he started thinking about how to handle the special classes. Since Cho has fought against all kinds of weapons, Kang tells him that there are also textbooks on other weapons. He wants to know if he will be able to defeat the other weapons if he learned from Cho. When the old man hears this, he grins, and he concludes that Kong has an instant idea. Cho realizes that he is basically teaching for a non-combat sparring match. This is the type of sparring match that takes place only in some sports. It apparently doesn't improve skills like in a real fight, but it helps to find areas to perfect one's martial skills. Kang came up with the idea that if a grandmaster like Cho can help identify the weaknesses of modern martial arts, then he can teach them. With this, Kang can then teach the kids how to counter every single weapon. Kang is pretty sure that they would be unstoppable if they can master what he wants to teach them. In no time, Kang and Cho get down to training. In one of the sessions, Kang is able to sneak up behind Cho and try to hit him. Even with the surprise attack, Cho is still able to block it, leaving a blasting effect. This continued for the entire holiday as they trained while taking notes about the entire session. Just as usual, Kang gets beaten up by his master sometimes for always acting like a punk. Kang and Cho had the time to bond well over everything, including ramen, and Kang considers this an enjoyable holiday for him. After the break, Kang gets to taste another flavor of food, which is not ramen, when he returns to the school's cafeteria. Kang is having an awkward moment when Kim Se-jin shows up to greet him. Apparently the third years are the first to eat, that's why they ended up left. They head to the training room, and Kim suggests that they have a sparring match. Kang simply waiting for Kang in the training room are his troublesome students. It turns out that Kim and Jin-soo also there are now a total of 4 first-year students and 1 third-year student. Kang is relieved that they are not more than 5, which is a number he should be able to manage. Jin-soo asks Kang if they are going to be having classes on weekends. Kang says yes, telling him that the principal he should know who that is. While everyone else is complaining about the overstretched schedule, Kim Se-jin is ready to even have classes on Sundays. Jin-soo stares at the
System
workaholic woman,
reaktiviert.
asking her why she likes to be a gaming
System
He then
Fehlfunktion.
raises her hand, suggesting that they have more practical classes instead of theory classes. Kang lets them know that they will focus more on sparring, but they won't forget about it. Kim Se-jin then raises her hand, so she can train alone from the rest of the team. Kang can see through Kim that she is desperate to be the best. He wonders who it is that she is trying to prove a point to during the competition. Kang then brings out his new book, and he hands it over to the kids. The textbook is titled Countering Style. Kim was initially disappointed as she didn't show interest, but when she opened the book and realized what was packed inside, her mind was blown away. The rest don't quickly grasp the situation, as they think Kang is trying to teach them how to use other weapons aside from swords.
Kontaminierter Bereich.
They complain that it would be hard for them to learn other weapons and
Flüssiges
even magic, but Kang
DC-62
smiles
erkannt.
while telling them that Kim
Oh
Se-jin
nein,
is the only
das
sensible one out of them.
DC-62, das wir von der Straße
He urges
kennen,
them
hat
to
schon
read
an
the title of
Wirksamkeit
the book.
verloren. Aber
And
dieses
this
Zeug
is when
hier
it
ist
dawns
frisch.
on them
Die
that it
Black
is a
Tusk
counter
müssen
style,
irgendwo versiegelte
not a
Fächer
book on how
gefunden
to use
haben.
the said weapons. Kim realizes that if she
Schwere
masters
Verwundung
the
entdeckt.
techniques in the book, she will practically be unstoppable against other weapons. Kim had always thought she could train really hard and get to Kang's level, but she now realizes that Kang is a different level of genius. A week after taking on the special class, Kang comes up with the idea to have a theoretical class on the first day and a sparring session on the next. Lee Seol has also joined to help train the kids. Kang even asks Hyunhwa to help the kids. Kang rotates this to help the students gain experience. Apparently, the first-year students will be going on training. Kang is already having free time for himself. But in the end, Vice Principal wins it yet again. He tells Kang that he wants him to be the training camp instructor. Kang tries to remind the man that he is just a swordsmanship instructor and not a homeroom teacher, but the man insists,
Übertragen
reminding
Sie
him
die
of the
geborgenen
recommendation
Daten, dann
letter, which is
untersuchen wir, was die Black Tusk
in the
vorhaben.
end, Kang has a choice of Hyunhwa asks if he prepared any herbal concoctions for the kids, and he says yes. Kang says the herbal medicine is good to help the kids grow since they are still in their growing stage. They have received tremendous changes in their bodies since they started drinking the herbs. After one of the sparring sessions, Lee Seol offers to help Kang clean up. Kang then heads to the locker to get his things, but Kim Se-jin appears behind him, startling him. Kang asks Kim why she hasn't left yet, and he fears that she might be there to ask for a sparring match. Kim says she is not there to spar with him, but has something that she needs to tell him. She hesitantly reveals that she won't be able to come to class this coming Why and what to
System
do.
gedrosselt.
Usually, he would be happy that he has one less student to teach, but he realizes that he has been so passionate about teaching the students. Even Kim Se-jin was moved to tears when she announced the news to the teacher. Kang finds solace in the fact that it is just one Saturday. After this, the two sit outside to talk. The only thing Kang was able to offer the girl was a herbal concoction. It turns out that Kim Se-jin is going on a real hunt every weekend, starting from this coming Saturday. Se-jin reveals that she would have loved to stay behind and get guidance from her teacher, but she has no choice. Kang also wants to explain that Se-jin is going to practical lessons, which is against the rules. Se-jin then reveals that her father has already said he will be talking to the vice principal
Eine
about
Karte
it.
des
Kang doesn't think
Tunnelsystems.
the vice
Scheinbar
principal
lagen wir
will
richtig, was
agree
Ihr Vorhaben
because he is
angeht.
quite stubborn, and he asks Se-jin if her father is going to be the vice principal. This is
System
when Se-jin
reaktiviert.
reveals that her father is the guild master of the Aries Guild. Kang cannot believe that Se-jin is also from a rich home. Se-jin then reveals that her real target is not the martial arts tournament that is held in the country. Se-jin says she is only participating in the tournament so she can qualify for the WHCU 19 ticket. The WHCU 19, also known as the World Hunter Championship Under 19, is a World Hunter Championship for aspiring hunters under the age of 19. Kang then mentions that Se-jin will be able to go there if she wins the martial arts. Kang realizes that Se-jin hasn't even reached anywhere in the tournament, but she is already dreaming of the championship. However, he believes that Se-jin is a two-time back-to-back winner of the martial arts tournament. Because of this, people have already speculated that she will be the winner of the current year's tournament. Se-jin then reveals that she won the championship. Kang expected to hear something good because of her insane skills. Se-jin reveals that she lost in the first match. Se-jin was unlucky to have been matched up against the girl who won the last championship, and she easily defeated Kim Se-jin. However, Se-jin doesn't blame this on luck because she believes that she would have done better against her opponent if she had the right skills. When Kang hears this, he pats Se-jin on the head. Kang tells Se-jin that he is proud of her because most people tend to be lenient with themselves, but Se-jin is always pushing herself. Se-jin's face turns red when she hears her teacher's acknowledgement. Kang then stands up, telling the girl that he's going to leave, but urges her to stay behind to get some more fresh air. Before leaving, Kang tells Se-jin to see her loss to the champion as the runner-up, not as a situation. Kang leaves by assuring Se-jin that she did pretty well and should not be discouraged. After he is gone, Se-jin gets a call from her father, and her entire mood goes from bright to downright bad. She tells her father that she didn't quickly pick up his call because she was listening to a counseling session, but her father berates her, telling her that the only advice she needs is the one coming from him. Se-jin just stands there in disappointment, as she doesn't know what to say. The Aries Guild is also a prestigious guild, and Se-jin's father, who is an S-rank hunter, is the master of the guild. In the original story, the heir to the guild left to
Sichern Sie
create
den
her own
Bereich,
guild,
Agent.
called Dawn. The name of the heir was Kim Se-yeon.
Sie verlassen
Kim
einen
Se-yeon was a
kontaminierten
stubborn
Bereich.
character who hated her parents so much that she had to change her name. The original protagonist, Kim Do-hyun, ended up learning in the Dawn Guild, and Kim Se-yeon fell in love with him in the process. It finally dawns on Kim that he is the missing link. She has been wondering why Kim Se-yeon, who is obviously a skilled person, didn't appear in the original story. Kang was thinking Se-jin was just an impressive side character, but he finally figured out that Se-jin was the one who changed her name to Se-yeon, and she was the one who created the guild, Dawn. It finally becomes clear to him that Se-jin is the female protagonist that he has been missing. Kang knows that Se-jin and her father will end up falling out as long as the story continues the way it is. The starting point of their falling out is the WHCU tournament, which will be held in January of the following year. Because
Systemfehlfunktion.
Se-jin failed to do well in the tournament, she got criticized by her father. Even Kang was impressed by how the story turned out when he returned. Kang cannot believe that such a terrible ordeal is the parent of one of his fellow students. Since Se-jin was this year's winner of the martial arts tournament, Kang finally understands why she was looking so angry. After all, he is the coldest, most merciless perfectionist among the top 10 in the living dead. His name is
System
Daichin, and he is
wiederhergestellt.
an S-rank hunter, known as the Sword King, who also happens to be Se-jin's father. Daichin is the ultimate helicopter dad who pressures his daughter, who is just trying to
System unterbrochen.
Kang admits that he would have run away a long time ago if Daichin were his father. Even though in the end they later made up, Kang still didn't really like the chapter. Kang believes that there is nothing that can fully repair what has been damaged. Kang also notices that there is a lot of pressure on her because she is forced to do practical training even on weekends. Kang puts two and two together to realize that Se-jin has a lot of assignments as a third-year student, who is also the student council president. Kang cannot believe that Se-jin has no time to rest, since she is always having classes and practical hunting training on both weekend days. Kang is worried about the girl, but he believes that everything is going to be
Die
resolved
True
later,
Sons sind
even if he doesn't
skrupellos,
involve
aber die
himself.
Black Tusks
When
sind
Kang
schlauer
visits
und
Cho, he
ehrgeiziger.
tells him about
Sie
Se-jin's
haben hier ein
issues, and the old
schwerwiegendes
man asks him what he
Kriegsverbrechen
plans to
verhindert.
do if he wants to intervene. Kang cannot believe that he is trying to get an answer from Cho, and all he can help him with is a sarcastic answer. Cho asks him if he plans to break someone else's blood bond with his own hands. Cho confesses that he has seen countless people with this kind of burden. Apparently, the direct descendant of the Namgun family, where he briefly stayed as a guest, was an example. Cho says all he did was fix a few postures
Sie müssen
and
sich
mind his
darum kümmern.
business.
Ich habe es auf
Kang
Ihrer
cannot
Karte
believe just
markiert.
how heartless Cho is,
Die
and Cho
Black
lets him know
Tuskers
that
haben
a
das
single
Space
word didn't come
Administration-
out of the dude's mouth. Cho then asks Kang if Se-jin asked him for help, but he says no. Cho believes that Se-jin is scared of the upcoming fight, but
Netzwerke
Kang still
umforschen
believes
wollen.
that this is
Sie
not the
müssen sie
case.
aufhalten.
Cho then berates Kang, telling him to be grateful for his blessings because his disciple is already a martial artist. Kang realizes that Cho is actually right, since Se-jin didn't ask for his help, and decides to help without being invited, which might just make things difficult for Se-jin. Since the tournament is the following year, Kang figures out that their relationship is still very much okay. Kang then complains about a headache, and Cho tells him to pick up his sword because the best way for him to get rid of impatience is through a spar. Kang urges the old man to go easy on him because he has to go prepare for the training camp the next day. Cho cannot believe that Kang is already rushing off again when he just got there. Kang lets him know that the teachers in charge of the training camp have to go ahead. Since Kang has a busy schedule on his hands, Cho believes that he doesn't have the time to worry about Se-jin. However, Kang believes that this has been a distraction, which is why he hasn't been able to train himself in recent times. Kang knows that he has been a busy man since he took on the supplementary classes, and the next Sunday is
Durchkämmen
also
Sie
the
das
A-rank
Gebiet,
promotion
beschützen Sie
test.
die Ausrüstung
Kang
und
decides that he will buy
eliminieren Sie
dinner
jedes
for Kim and
Mitglied
Hong
der
after
Black
the
Tusks.
test. There seems to be a lot of tasks on his plate, and he believes that his second life is more difficult. Kang dashes toward Cho, and the sparring session kicks off, while he thinks of everything he has done since he started the second. Kang has always had something going on since he found himself in this spot, and he has not gotten any proper rest at all. He had already vowed that he was going to enjoy his second life, but everything going on around him wasn't even giving him a chance to do so. However, this doesn't mean he dislikes his current life because being busy is his choice, and his life hasn't been meaningless either. However, he doesn't know if Se-jin thinks the same thing. Even though he didn't want trouble, he was able to tell Sora the truth after meeting Cho. In addition, the duel with the vice principal has helped him become stronger, even though he lost. Kang is glad that he got stronger because he was able to save his student. In addition, he has met a lot of good people on the way. Just then, Kang realizes that he is already having a calm mind, which was what Cho probably meant when he told him to get rid of impatience. Suddenly, Kang realizes that something is wrong with him, and before he knows it, he senses his internal energy going out of control. Kang starts to wonder why this is happening, and before he knows it, he crashes to his knees in pain. He groans in so much pain that it is even greater than when Cho opened his vessel. Apparently, he is suffering from chi inundation, which is a side effect of one's internal energy going berserk, causing his Dantian to burn out. Because of this, the internal energy that escapes the Dantian slowly ascends along the spine, not the meridians. Even though he is in pain, Kang crosses his leg to sit in a position that will help him meditate. Kang knows he has to control the rampaging internal energy to help it through the right channel. Shortly afterward, Kang feels a sensation of relief, and the pain suddenly vanishes completely. Kang is left wondering what is happening when Cho walks up to him to congratulate him on his enlightenment, letting him know that he has crossed another wall. Kang is shocked to hear this because it basically means his martial skills have reached the next realm. Cho knows he is worried about his internal energy because he suddenly can't feel it. He assures him that it didn't disappear, telling him that it is now in a new vessel. Cho expresses how impressed he is that Kang has climbed another wall in such a short time because his successor will take a little longer. Even though the old man is talking about the enlightenment of the old man lets him know that reaching the pinnacle doesn't define a person, because there are still many realms he must cross in the future. He tells him that among them, the condition for entering the supreme pinnacle is to be free from worldly delusions. Cho tells him that even if he can resolve the problem, he is expected to accept the situation and acknowledge it as a part of himself. When Kang hears this, he confesses that he actually feels strangely refreshed, and in addition, he feels really hungry. Cho is not surprised by this because the dude basically circulated his internal energy for a full 8 hours, which is basically why he is hungry. Kang screams out in shock when he hears this because he can't believe that he sat down for 8 hours straight. Even though he is already running late, Cho offers to boil some noodles for him so he can eat before leaving. While eating the noodles, Kang figures out that he is currently at the beginning stage of the Supreme Pinnacle. He slowly figures out something much stronger than himself. He knows that it would be great if he could spar with Cho one more time, but there is no time for that. After he is done, Kang rushes off, and it is after his departure that Cho realizes that he didn't tell him his special power. However, Cho believes that there is nothing that would happen. Later on, the instructors from School 2 and School 1 are arguing over who is going to take the role of during the training camp. School 2 teachers believe that this role should fall to them, since there are no A-rank teachers among the School 1 teachers. Leading the charge is an annoying School 2 teacher with golden hair. The dude nominates Kim Jong-un from School 2, saying they are the most competent for the role. An argument soon ensues on why they should take this dude, since he is still a new teacher. While they are all arguing about this, Kang remains silent in the back, but he can't believe that they have been on this for an hour already. Kang can't believe that he rushed over to the campsite only to be met with this type of trash. Kang is disappointed that they are seriously arguing over who gets to be the commander of the camp instructors. Kang is even surprised that neither side is giving in. Even though he heard that schools are obsessed with their pride, he couldn't believe that it is this bad. After they have argued so much on this, the golden-haired dude suggests that they engage in a duel to settle it. Deep down, Kang is okay with this, since talking about obviously means a duel is 100 times better. However, one bulked-up dude doesn't think it is right for them to decide the commander role with a duel. The golden-haired man then tells him to suggest any other alternative. Five people from each school can be representatives in the fight. When Kang hears this, he realizes just how smart the idea is. Apparently, School 2 has an A-rank hunter. When the golden-haired hears this, he disagrees, reminding them that they only have about 30 minutes until the end of the training center tour. Since the officials are waiting, he suggests that they keep it simple with a one-on-one. Deep down, Kang knows that they are all scared of the A-rank teacher, which is why they are avoiding the 5 versus 5. Suddenly, he hears the golden-hair calling. The golden-hair mentions that he heard how he sparred with the Vice President. He is currently hiding in the back of his hardware. He mentions that he also heard how Kang used Aura Blade, but he believes that it was manipulated. Not ready to be dragged into their shenanigans, Kang tells the dude to think whatever he wants. Kang knows that Israel would have excitedly taken the fight, assuming she was there. However, Kang doesn't see any reason why he should, because even if he wins, this would only boost the egos of the people who look down on him for coming from a non-hunter school. Kang is restraining himself until the golden hair mentions the student saga. Kang immediately agrees that they duel, but his colleagues urge him to calm down. He reminds them that it is a duel, and he is allowed to enter. To calm them, he tells them that he is going to yield the representative position even if he wins, and they agree to this. Once they are in agreement, Kang steps out, telling the golden-haired teacher to tell all the teachers in his school to come out and challenge him. Everyone is shocked when they hear this, and they assume that Kang is joking around just like a comedian. However, Kang lets them know that he is not joking. The golden-haired is disgusted by this, and he concludes that Kang's arrogance is reaching for the sky just because he's been in the media. The golden-haired teacher then decides that he is going to use the opportunity to show Kang that the world is not as easy as he thinks. While drawing a circle meant to be the ring, Kang tells the golden-haired teacher that he should be the one telling him that the world is not easy, because they are probably going to fight all day over who the referee should be. After he is done marking the ring, Kang tells them the rules. He reveals that whoever steps out of the circle first wins the game. The golden-haired teacher cannot believe just how confident Kang is, and he tells him that instead of fielding everyone, they are going to have 3 people from their side stand up. One of the contestants is the golden-haired teacher, Park, who is sure of what he is saying. Park then replies that they have to teach him a lesson for saying what he did. Park is already boasting about how they are going to tear Kang apart for what he said. The School 1 teachers panic when they hear this, but the School 2 teachers are chilling. Once they are ready, Kang tells them that the time limit for the duel is 10 minutes, and the one who shouts surrender or steps outside the circle loses. The trio representing School 2 agrees to this, and Kang believes that he is going to use the duel to find out just how strong he is. The whistle goes off, and the trio swings into action. And it turns out that Park used the best combination that they have available to him because he has no plan of going easy on Kang. Kang has to deal with a swordsman, a vanguard, and a mage at the same time. The vanguard is the first to throw a spear at Kang, and he easily dodges it. Kang figures out that the dude hurls a spear at him to give the swordsman the chance to close down the distance. However, he easily blocks the dude's attack and even breaks his sword in the process. Everyone is stunned when they see this because they can't believe that Kang just destroyed a sword with his sword. Even Kang is surprised at how easy it is for him to now summon his inner guard. While he is busy checking out his hand, the mage unleashes a massive spell, which is not even supposed to be used during a spar. When Kang sees this, he realizes that the mage is the A rank among the School 2 teachers, and he agrees that the attack she is preparing is quite dangerous. Suddenly, the conversation he had with Cho when he was learning the heavily deemed swordsmanship comes to his mind. He remembers that Cho said the heavenly demon made him flustered, but he never said that he couldn't break through his attack. At the same time, Kang could finally see the real flow of mana. Basically, the fire spell that the mage used is bothersome because it is more dangerous than the ones being used by low-level hunters, and this is because it explodes even when cut with aura, thus dealing area damage. However, the attack was easily cut down as if nothing even happened, shocking the mage, Kim Jong-un. With just a swing of his sword, Kang is able to take down the attack, shocking everyone watching the duel. No one could understand how Kang was able to do this because Kang just broke a sword with his bare hands, and he canceled magic like it was nothing. This leaves them wondering just who Kang really is. Kang, on the other hand, is excited because everything seems to be working out really well. He realizes that he has gotten stronger to be able to see more flow, which gives him a chance to cut down the Mon and cause it to scatter as if the attack failed. It then dawns on Kang that the Dean must have been able to see the attack pattern, but he allowed it to hit out of curiosity. Kang can't believe the balls on the old dudes. Just then, the swordsman and the vanguard decide to back off, knowing fully well that they are no match for Kang. However, Kim is not backing down, and Kang is impressed by this because it shows that Kim has the best mental strength of the three. Just then, Kim starts to cast what appears to be an even more powerful spell, and Kang is still casting, hoping that this will stop her. Kang sends an aura slash. Surprised, she has a barrier protecting her while she moves. Park blocks Kang, telling him that he can't pierce Kim's barrier with his aura. Kang can see just how happy he is. He decides to show them that if the pistol can't work, he will just use a cannon. Kang then prepares to use an even more powerful skill, the Aura Blade, shocking the instructors. They berate Kang for using such a big technique in a duel as if he were trying to kill Kim, but Kang reminds them that Kim was the one who tried to get to him. Kang ignores their complaints and decides to try out the skill. He hurls his sword at Kim, waiting to see whether his sword will be the one to break the barrier. The sword hits the barrier, and it lets out a big flash. The barrier gone. Kang believes however, to his surprise, Kim can cast while she is moving, a difficult skill to master. As she moves around the ring, she continues chanting, and the instructors are all blown away by this. They believe that Kang has no way out, and all that is left for him is to be roasted because there is no way for him to get to his sword. Just then, Kang asks them if they really think he threw out his sword.
Es könnten noch Gegner im Gebäude sein. Gehen Sie zur Forschungsabteilung und bringen Sie es zu Ende.
Suddenly, Kang's sword starts moving on its own, following Kang's hand movements. The instructors freak out when they see this because they have no idea how Kang is able to pull this off. It turns out that the trick to do this was taught to Kang by his master, but he couldn't try it because he lacked internal energy, which is now different. It is basically a martial art that involves handling a sword from a distance with energy and intent. Before Kim knows it, she gets cut from behind by the sword, and she screams out in pain before coughing up blood. She crashes to the ground, and Kang's expression changes because he is scared that he might have just killed Kim. However, the school nurse jumps in quickly, and this is when Kang realizes that he can't control the power just yet, because the consumption of the internal energy is quite severe. While Kim is getting herself treated, Kang is declared the winner of the duel, and he is told that he now holds the authority to select the training commander. Being the shameless dude that he is, Park walks up to Kang to apologize for how he treated him earlier. Even the rest of the school, two instructors offer their apology for their excessive words. Kang is surprised that the group is apologizing because they don't look like a bunch that would even apologize. Being the humble dude that he is, Kang returns the courtesy, telling them that he was also rude. Kang is impressed that the group admitted defeat without throwing tantrums. Kang is glad that everything worked out well because they are the ones who performed the mission that Kang then walks up to her, telling her that she is going to be the training commander. The teachers from School 1 are shocked to hear this as they ask Kang what he is trying to achieve with this. They remind him that he was the one who won the duel, which will give him the authority to guide the students. Kang then tells Kim that he is impressed by her spirit to keep going until the end, and he hopes that the training session becomes an opportunity for the students to learn the kind of spirit that she has. Even though he knows that some might believe that he did it to look cool, that was actually not the case. Kang believes that the variety of combat methods that he saw Kim use will be great in helping prepare for the martial arts tournament. In addition, Kang didn't want to raise the morale of his colleagues, who cowered at the mention of a duel. Kim is glad to have received the honor, and they all agree to have him. Elsewhere, Mandong is seen traveling with the dean of the second school, Ma Bongpal. Bongpal boastfully tells Mandong that the commander of the training camp is from their school, but Mandong lets him know that the role was ceded by one of his school's instructors. Bongpal is shocked to hear this, since he knows that there is no A-rank among the instructors who came from School 1. Mandong turns to the other side, telling Bongpal that Kang must have been lucky, but Bongpal is not lucky, as he can see that the dude is grinning from ear to ear, which means he knows what must have happened. Soon afterward, the large training center field is filled with students from both schools, and after an hour, Mandong is still busy addressing them. The students are already exhausted from hearing his boring lecture, and whenever it appears that he is about to end the lecture, he finds something else to talk about. Even at this point, the twins are crashing out deep inside because they can't believe that the lecture is taking so long. When Mandong finally finishes his speech, the students decide to celebrate, but their happiness goes sour again when they are informed that it is time for Bong Pal to be arrested. Later on, the students started moving to their assigned homes, and this is when Kang learns. Kang is shocked to see her because he expects her to be in school or working. She reveals that the second year and third year students are all in their forms of training, so there are no kids at school. Seonhwa commends Kang, saying she is pretty sure that he is Kang lets her know that it is because of a certain father, and Seonhwa says she is aware of it. She then asks Kang
Die
if he had
Satelliten
any
gehen wieder
plans to
zurück in
initially come,
Position und
and
es
he
sind
says
keine
no,
Gegner mehr im Gebäude.
revealing that
Gute
he has
Arbeit,
supplementary
Agent.
classes almost every day, which is why he was planning to use the period to rest. Seonhwa tells Kang that he is being given many
Agent,
tasks to
unseren
handle because her
Informationen
father
zufolge
trusts
sind
him.
Black Tusks
She
ins
reminds
Kapitol
him that he gave him a
eingezogen. Das wird
recommendation letter
schmerzhaft, wenn wir
to
nichts
take the
unternehmen.
A-rank
Also
promotion
unternehmen Sie
assessment.
was.
Kang chuckles and agrees with Seonhwa, saying Mandong must have seen him in Golden Light just like she said. Since the obstacle course session is that afternoon, Seonhwa asks if he can come watch the session. Kang excitedly tells her that she is free to come because Mandong was even looking for her. Seonhwa then reveals that she was just about to go and meet Mandong, and she suggests that they go together. Suddenly, they hear Mandong's voice in the distance, and he is accompanied by Bong Pal. Kang is totally blown away by just how big the two men are, but he has no idea who Bong Pal is. Bong Pal rushes forward to greet her nephew, Seonhwa, and when Kang hears Seonhwa mention his name, he finally figures out who he is. Basically, Bong Pal is one of the 10 S-rank hunters in the country, and despite his intimidating appearance, he is a skilled magician who mainly uses wind-type magic. Apparently, Bong Pal didn't have a large presence since he wasn't from the main character's school. Kang then offers his greetings to the man, introducing himself and telling him that he is happy to meet him. Bong Pal is also glad to meet Kang, whom Mandong is always talking about. Bong Pal stretches his hand to shake him, and Kang is surprised because the old dude appears to be affectionate. Kang excitedly agrees to shake him, but Bong Pal grips his hand so tightly that Kang suddenly sees himself getting crushed by an overwhelming presence. He sees himself in a vast space which turns out to be Bong Pal's mana space. It is so huge that Kang feels like he is floating in space. Just then, Mandong taps Bong Pal on the shoulder, telling him that he should pull back a bit because he is already playing with Kang too much. Bong Pal apologizes for going overboard, claiming that he was only curious about how Kang defeated the teachers from his school by himself. Bong Pal apologizes again, just in case it appears that he went overboard. Seonhwa assures Bong Pal that Kang will definitely know that he didn't have any ill intent. Kang assures the dude that he is fine, and he asks Mandong why he called for him. Mandong tells him that this is something that they have to discuss in private. Kang then suggests that they go to the nearby lounge. Bong Pal then decides to ask something before the two leave. Bong Pal asks Kang why he handed over the position of the head instructor to Kim when he was the one who won the match. Kang honestly answers, revealing that the teachers in his own school lacked spirit. He mentions that they were all intimidated when they heard that their opponent was an A-rank hunter, forcing him to step up. However, Kim chose to fight to the end, even though she knew that Kang was way above her level. Bong Pal is pleased with Kang's answer, and it finally dawns on him that Mandong was relying on Kang, which was why he didn't send any A-rank to the camp. Even though this is true, Mandong tries to deny it. Kang cannot believe that the old man basically sent him to the training camp because he is scared of losing to another school. Before he gets exposed further, Bong Pal suggests that they leave quickly, assuring Kang that he is going to buy him a cup of coffee. As they walk away, Bong Pal is seen wearing a confused expression because of what he heard about Kang, which is that he is B-rank. In a surprising turn of events, Bong Pal's palm actually peeled from shaking Kang, and he urges Seonhwa to heal, but this has told him that Kang is stronger than he looks. Moments later, Mandong tells Kang that the reason he wanted to see him was because of his A-rank assessment. Since he was the one who recommended him,
Dann ist das
he
Ihr
wanted to
Ziel,
give him some
Agent.
advice.
Räumen Sie dort auf.
Mandong
Erledigen
asks
Sie alle
Kang if he is
Feindziele und
prepared
vor
for the
allem
assessment,
schalten
and
Sie
Kang
diesen
replies that
Offizier
he
der Black
hasn't
Tusks
because he has
aus.
been doing supplementary classes with the kids. Mandong then asks him if he knows what the test entails, and Kang replies that it is basically the subjugation of an A-grade portal. Mandong tells him that he is right, revealing that it is evaluated within an A-grade portal. It turns out that an S-rank hunter also accompanies the group as the main examiner. Kang is surprised when he hears that he is going to be accompanied by an S-rank. Kang then asks Mandong if he is the main examiner, but he says no, revealing that he was the one who recommended him, so he can't conduct the assessment. not worried, because with Kang's skill level, he is confident that he is going to skill through. Nonetheless, Kang believes that it would have been nice if it were Mandong who wanted to conduct the test. Kang then asks if Bong Tal is the one who wants to carry out the test, but Mandong says no. Kang urges the maid to tell him who the person is, and Mandong decides to give him hints, saying he is someone related to his student. Kang starts racking his brain to know which of the students is related to an S-rank. In no time, it dawns on him that it is Seijin. Apparently, the one who will be conducting the test is her father, Daichan. Mandong lets him know that Daichan is a sharp and critic, even naturally rigorous, which is why he is famous among examiners and rarely fails in passing scores. Kang doesn't really care if he is rigorous, as long as the dude doesn't deliberately fail him. Mandong lets him know that he has no issues because of his skill level.
System gedrosselt.
Kang is his father's teacher, so he might not want to treat him harshly like he usually does. With the way Mandong is talking, Kang realizes that Daichan is a really strict teacher.
System wieder
For the next
online.
couple of minutes, Mandong continued giving Kang advice, and there was useful advice, like the main causes for point deduction, which Kang examined. Even though Mandong claimed he was doing this so he wouldn't be embarrassed, because he was the one who recommended him, Kang is still grateful. Later on, Kang also realized that it was a good idea to recommend Kim from school too as the training captain, because she did her best to ensure no student was injured when they carried out the mission. Thanks to this, they were able to successfully complete the training camp schedule for ordinary Hunter Academy students, which includes 3-day guerrilla training, full field obstacle training, rappel training, magic chemical, biological training, portal trench combat, and full plate marching. 3 days later, Kang gathers the students,
System
telling them
wiederhergestellt.
that it is time for them to start the supplementary class. He tells them that they are going to conduct this class by carrying out rules, while the rest the students are the first to speak up, since they are frustrated already. They both pick Min-hee and Jin-soo as their opponents. Kang urges them to calm down because he can clearly see that there is too much malice behind their fit. Apparently, something happened during the training camp, which is the fact that Min-hee and Jin-soo started dating. During the helicopter rappel training, Kang had noticed that Jin-soo was scared, and he told him to shout the name of a person he was thinking of as he descended. Kang was expecting the dude to say his parents' name, but he ended up screaming out Min-hee's name, revealing just how much he likes her. Even though the two actually ended up as a couple in the book, Kang didn't expect Jin-soo to confess at the training camp. Back in the present, Kang tells the students that they have to do a schedule. Moments later, Kang notices that the kids are not doing great. He understands the reason why Min-hee and Jin-soo are distracted. The twins, on the other hand, are too eager, but the main person he is worried about is Seijin. While sparring with her, he notices that she is not moving the way she is supposed to. Seijin is forced to ask Kang if he raised the sparring level, but he says no, asking her if she is fine. As the spar session continues, he ends up slapping her sword out of her hand. Kang asks her what the problem is, because she should have been able to react to his last attack, since he provided a book for that. Kang lets her know that she didn't use her one parry, which means she practiced less. Kang tells Seijin that the parry style is literally a formula, which she has to implant in her subconscious so she can react immediately when an attack comes. Kang then tells the students that from that moment forward till the end of the remaining period, they are only going to conduct training to master the parry style. He tells them that stamina or strength training will be done as personal training, which will be outside of the supplementary class. Kang then turns to Seijin, telling her that she has been banned from stamina training in the meantime. The other students are shocked to hear this, and Jin-soo immediately protests, saying Kang is showing favoritism. Kang tells them that it is not favoritism, but reveals that Seijin's stamina has decreased even more than before the training camp. He lets her know that excessive training is seriously affecting her. Kang then asks the class if Seijin doesn't look thinner than a few days ago, and they agree with him. Min-hee confirms this, saying Seijin has lost so much weight that they believe she is under diet. Seijin tries to push this aside, saying it is nothing. She is going out for practical training and moving around a lot. She tells them that she is confident, but Kang knows that she is definitely not fine because there are dark circles under her eyes. In addition, Seijin has more class hours than the first years, and she is also the council president, which means she doesn't actually have any free time. As if this isn't enough, Kang heard that Seijin goes out on weekends when there are no supplementary classes for portal practical training in her father's guild. Kang knows that Kang then tells Seijin it has little meaning to her because even without the parry style, she is confident that Seijin will still be Kang tells Seijin that rest is as important as training, and he suggests that Seijin take a break from the supplementary class so she can recover her stamina. Seijin takes a moment to think about it before telling Kang that she is fine. Kang is surprised to hear this, and he tells Seijin that whatever she chooses is will, but he lets her know that she can always take a break if things get too difficult. With a smile, Seijin acknowledges this, and and deep down, Kang is actually impressed, because if it were any of the other kids, they would have gladly accepted to take a break. Kang is proud of him, but at the same time, he feels sorry for him. Kang then suggests that they end the class. The students are shocked to hear this, since it is not even 6 o'clock yet. Jin-Soo, on the other hand, is glad to hear this. While the students are busy playing around in preparation to leave, Sejin is seen thinking about what Kang said. She takes off her glasses, and a droplet of blood falls on her nose, while she also feels dizzy. Suddenly, she crashes to the ground and everyone immediately rushes over to her position. Without wasting time, they rush her to the infirmary, and fortunately, Seonhwa is still around, so she attends to her. She tells Kang that there is nothing seriously wrong with Sejin, and she has given her an IV since it appears that she overworked herself. Kang is glad to have Seonhwa around, and he thanks her for saving the girl's life. Seonhwa then reveals that Sejin was reciting training notes in her sleep, and this is a sign that she is pushing herself too much. Seonhwa asks Kang if he knows anything about this, and he reveals that from what he hears, Sejin has not been sleeping more than 3 hours a day. Kang says Seonhwa reveals that the students have the most assignments and tasks, and in addition to this, Sejin is as if this is not enough, she is also the student council president. Seonhwa also hears that she goes on portal raids on the weekends, which basically shows just how much work her schedule is. Seonhwa mentions that Sejin has the skill, so she shouldn't overdo it, but it appears that she is a perfectionist. Kang knows that Sejin is not a perfectionist, it is her father's fault for demanding too much from the poor girl. Moments later, Sejin wakes up, and the first thing she does is apologize for losing consciousness. However, Kang tells her that she doesn't urging her to lie down a bit and takes her back to the dormitory. Sejin lets Kang know that she is hungry, and she asks him what time it is. After hearing what the time is, Sejin reveals that she has an assignment on Monday, and Kang lets her know that she can do this the next day, since it is the start of the weekend. However, Sejin lets him know that she has an external schedule from the next day until Sunday evening. Sejin puts on her glasses, and this is when she realizes that she still can't see clearly, which is a sign of accumulated fatigue. Seonhwa is worried about her. She asks her if she thinks she can go on the portal. Kang urges her to rest, telling her that she can just contact her people to let them know that she can't go. Sejin wants to say something, but it's hard to say, and Kang asks her if she is reluctant because of her father. He asks her if he is free to contact him, and Sejin eagerly says yes. Kang lets her know that he might not have a personal relationship with her father, but he is scheduled to see him that Sunday. Sejin is surprised to hear this, and she asks him why he wants to see her father. Kang mentions that it is for his promotion, and this is because his father is the. After hearing this, Sejin tells Kang that he needs to be good with his father about the case, because he is not the type to give special treatment to his daughter. Sejin then thanks Sejin is about to stand up, and he pushes her back to the bed, telling her to rest. He urges her to at least rest until the IV is finished. He also tells her not to worry about conversations between adults, and Sejin confesses that she is scared that her father might feel confident. Sejin asks Kang why he cares so much when he is not even her home roommate. Kang reminds her that she is the student council president before mentioning Article 10, Clause 3 of the Hunter School Regulations. It states that all Hunter School faculty members are expected to prioritize the safety of students. Kang lets her know that if it is only meant for physical danger, there would be no need to write it in the regulations. Kang lets Sejin know that what her father is doing is harming her health, which means he can intervene. Even with this, Sejin still wants to argue, but Kang lets her know that she has no choice but to rest for the next 2 days. He urges her to trust him because he is going to pass the review and handle the meeting quite well. After hearing this, Sejin agrees to rely on her teacher to see what happens next. Before they knew it, the day of the A-rank promotion exam dawned. Kang was told to come to the council building by 8 in the morning instead of going straight to the portal. Standing in front of the building, Kang wonders if they are trying to intimidate him. Kang then checks his phone, and as usual, the students have sent him a series of good luck messages. Just then, one of the reviewers, Park Hyun-suk, who is an A-rank hunter, shows up. Kang returns the courtesy by bowing to the page and offering his greetings. Kang is surprised that a friendly person is a reviewer when he was already expecting someone as strict as Daishin. Park then suggests that they move to the portal, telling him that they are going to depart once Daishin shows up, but he is pretty sure that he is going to be on time. Since other A-rank applicants are also waiting, there is a bus that will move them to the site. Kang is glad that there is actually a bus because this will make things easier for him, since he is still coming back to the council building if he passes his exam. Kang then makes his way to the bus, and to his surprise, there are loads of people waiting to take the exam. They all have a stern look on them, as if they are trying to mark their territories, saying that they are strong. The bus conductor asks Kang for his name, and after tendering his name, the conductor tells him to hand over his license and then board seat number 2. Just as he is about to get on the bus, an overwhelming figure appears on the scene, and this is none other than Daichin. In an awkward turn of events, Daichin ends up taking the seat next to Kang, putting the dude in the most nervous state of his life. Kang is so uncomfortable that he wants to break his glass and escape from the bus. He is thankful that the portal they are going to is not far. Suddenly, Daichin calls Kang's name to confirm if he is alive, and Kang acknowledges this. Daichin reveals his surprise that Seijin missed the week's portal practice, which is entirely Kang's decision. Kang confirms this, and Daichin urges Kang not to interfere with Seijin's schedules outside of the supplemental class. Kang then reveals that Seijin is doing one of the classes, which is why she has to go to confirm it. Daichin is shocked to hear this, and Kang assures him that it is nothing serious because it is just routine. Kang reveals that he was the one who forced her to observe 2 days rest because he believes that one day won't be enough. Kang adds that Seijin would still have no issue winning the tournament even if she doesn't attend the makeup class. Kang then lists out all of the things Seijin alone is tackling, and Kang lets Daichin know that Seijin is a person who will. Daichin finally speaks up, saying he had no idea that Seijin collapsed, but Kang is not surprised, since the old man doesn't keep track of his doctor's visits. Daichin says he is being too lenient. Because of this, he is going to add more physical training to Seijin's schedule, ultimately shocking the life out of Kang. Daichin then tells Kang that he is going to be removing the supplementary class from Seijin's schedule, while urging him not to take it personally. Daichin further adds that Seijin collapsed because she lacked physical strength, and he urges Kang not to interfere again because he would be the one to handle the issue. Kang has a lot to say to the old man, but deep down, he believes that Daichin is a freaking lunatic. 40 minutes later, they arrived at the location of the A-rank portal, and with Daichin as the host, the other examiners and all the candidates followed after. Even though the whole thing about Seijin is not over yet, he decides to focus on the scene first, since he has no idea what type of terrain he wants to face. Upon entering the portal, Kang realizes that it is a desert-type dungeon, which he had experienced about 2 weeks ago during the break. However, he noticed that most of the applicants are not happy, since they have found themselves in tough terrain. Daichin then tells them to gather around, reminding them that it is an examination. However, the examiners will also participate in the combat. Apparently, the current batch of candidates consists of 2 mages, 1 martial artist, 1 archer, 1 spear wielder, and 1 swordsman. Kang figures out that apart from Daichin and Park, the rest of the examiners are long-range spammers. Kang figures out that either he or the martial artist takes the vanguard. Daichin then calls out the order of things. He reveals that the examiners will take the rear for the sake of their duty, while the vanguard will be handled by Kang and Hunter Park, and the rest move at their own discretion. Daichin lets them know that the evaluation criteria are the clearance of an A-rank 10-person portal. Daichin tells them that the portal has no exploration records, so they have to be careful. Once the instructions are clear, Daichin starts the exam, and Kang offers to take the lead. Kang figures out that he has to spread out his aura detection because there are many monsters that hide in the same desert. Kang steps forward and he unleashes his aura, which is able to detect life forms at about 500 meters. Before long, Kang realizes that some are already tired thanks to the cold and heat. Kang then suggests that they head over to the sand dune in the distance because there are monsters there. However, the others can't see the monsters, doubt setting almost immediately. They believe that even a monoscam would not be able to reach where the sand dune is. Kang then reveals that he was able to detect them because he spread out his mana. One hunter teases him, telling him that he exaggerates a lot because there is no way he's able to spread his mana to the dune. Kang hears this and regrets not being with Xianhua and Iseo because they would have excitedly rushed over to where the monsters are. Daichin then suggests that they go where Kang suggested, telling them that they can penalize Kang if there are no monsters at the dune. However, Kang tells them that they don't need to go anymore because from the moment they pass the safe zone, they have been detected. Before they know it, monsters have closed them down, and Kang lets them know that they have been rushing at them at full speed. The team immediately finds themselves going up against an A-rank monster, the Red Giant Scorpion. This scorpion is considered to be the desert thug with a considerably hard exoskeleton and magic resistance. To make it worse, their sting can kill someone in 10 minutes if medical attention is not given. Kang analyzes the situation and realizes that they are surrounded by 4 red scorpions. Daichin then calls out orders, telling the mages to prepare themselves while the vanguard spread out to buy time. He lets them know that he is going to take the center, and Kang offers to go to the right. Kang makes his move and dashes toward the scorpion at high speed. After landing a hit on the monster, Kang figures out that the others are managing the fight quite well. The fight between the Scorpion and Kang is so intense that Kang is forced to cut off one of its arms. Since soloing enemies gives more points, Kang decides to finish off the Scorpion with as little pain as he can. With a precise and powerful strike, Kang splits the Scorpion in two, ultimately finishing it off, while the other candidates are shocked. Daichen, on the other hand, appears to be impressed with what he just saw. When Daichen first saw Kang's name on the list of applicants, he didn't think too much about it. And when he heard that he was Sejin's supplementary teacher, he also didn't take it as very important. In addition, he had no intention of giving him special treatment just because he is his daughter's teacher. In fact, he is pissed that because of him, Sejin's weekend training was canceled. As they sat in the bus, Daichen didn't really think too much of Kang because he looked weak, and in addition, he prayed for Kang to ask for immunity. To his surprise, Kang didn't do anything. Daichen assumed that Kang was just a joke. He realized that he was dreadful. Now that they are on the battlefield, Daichen is impressed by how Kang was able to sense mana from a distant location, and he even knew how he was going to utilize it. Daichen is blown away by how Kang was able to slice the Scorpion like it was nothing. Daichen finally realizes why Mandong is so popular, and this is all because of Kang. Kang, on the other hand, is wondering if he finished off the monster too fast, which is why everyone is staring at him. It turns out that he is the only one who has even defeated the monster he is fighting. Even Daichen has only managed to suppress the beast. Kang looks around and sees the martial arts fighter among them struggling against the Scorpion, which is due to its tough exoskeleton. Kang starts wondering if he should help her out, since she can't use aura yet. The girl continues punching the Scorpion, and at some point she is left startled because she can't believe that Kang actually cut through something this tough with a sword. Just when she's about to be overwhelmed by the monster, Kang comes to the rescue, cutting off the monster's body parts while asking her if she is fine. Just then, the examiner tells them to get out of the way because the magic spell is finally ready. The mages then unleash a freezing spell at the monster, and Daichen is impressed that they went with freezing magic, since the Scorpion is immune to magic. Daichen immediately concludes that out of all the magic users, the electric user is the only one disqualified at that moment. In addition, the archer and the spearman would have to learn aura and reapply it later in the future. Their own role was just to stall for time, but they ended up destroying their weapons. The martial artist thanks Kang for the help, apologizing for what she said earlier. She admits that she didn't think there would be a hunter who could sense the monster from such a distance, and Kang lets her know that he is not mad because this is the normal reaction. Kang then wishes her luck on the rest of the raid, and she lets Kang know that she is going to continue following him. Daichen then calls out the names of those who failed, telling them to follow the examiner out through the portal. The examiner excitedly tells them to follow him, and Kang realizes that Daichen is sending them off pretty quickly, since it is a dangerous dungeon. Suddenly, Kang's senses tell him something shocking, and this is the fact that they are surrounded by monsters. The martial artist notices the expression on his face, and she asks him what the problem is. At the same time, Daichen is able to sense the monsters, and he is surprised that Kang was able to even sense them before him. When Kang realizes that he can't figure out just how many monsters are out there, he screams to those going for the exit to be careful. The examiner turns around, wondering what Kang is saying, and suddenly, a large monster appears right in front of him. Before he can react, he gets swallowed whole by the monster. It turns out that this monster is none other than the Great Sandworm, an A-rank monster that is known as the Calamity of the Desert. Meanwhile, Sionghua is worried about Kang, and she asks her father how he thinks Kang is doing on his test at the moment. Mandong assures Sionghua that Kang will definitely pass his test because he is a great talent whom he recommended. Sionghua then asks her father how far he thinks Kang can go. She wants to know if he thinks Kang will be able to become as strong as him, and Mandong lets him know that Kang will go ahead to become stronger and more capable. However, he lets Sionghua know that beyond A-rank hunters, there is an essential talent that is required. He cites an example, saying if a difficult monster appears, the B-rank hunter is the one who runs without thinking twice, while the A-rank hunter is the one who remembers their role and forms a defensive line. Mandong says it might appear as if the examiner judges only combat power, but in fact, they carefully observe all of these aspects. However, these are things that cannot be known unless a real crisis appears. Since Mandong has explained what B ranks and A ranks do, Sionghua asks him what S ranks would do in this situation. Mandong replies that an S rank would look to eliminate the cause of the crisis because eliminating the cause means the crisis will disappear. Just as he is explaining this, Kang is dashing toward the monster without hesitation, and Daichen is right behind him. Mandong mentions that individuals who think this way are special, and they are the ones reserved as S-rank hunters. Simultaneously, Kang and Daichen cut the monster into pieces, shocking the other candidates who are watching. After taking down the monster, Daichen finally speaks with Kang calmly. He lets him know that he has no intention of raising Sejin to be weak because she is going to succeed him later. However, Kang lets Daichun know that he doesn't agree with his education methods, and Daichun promises not to put pressure on Seijin again. While they are busy discussing this, the A-rank examiner is crawling out of the monster's belly with tears in his eyes. Daichun then tells Kang that he has to take responsibility and make sure his daughter wins WHCU, but he fails at this. He would have to become his son-in-law. The moment Kang hears this, his facial expression immediately changes for the worse. Everything goes bleak in his head, and he remains like this for the next couple of days. Even the image on his new license is just the same, leaving his students to wonder what the hell is wrong with the dude. Seijin is forced to ask him what it is he is thinking about so deeply. Kang cannot obviously tell her that he is thinking about her father. Back in the dungeon, when Kang heard Daichun's proposition, he was shocked to his bones, and all of his attention immediately went down to him. He immediately disliked Daichun because he couldn't believe that he was a terrible human who treated his daughter as merely a tool for recruiting him. Kang angrily tells him that he is definitely going to make Seijin win, but he tells him that he has a proposition. Daichun asks him what it is, and Kang angrily tells the dude that he is challenging him to a duel at once. Now that he is back in school, Kang asks Seijin if her father told her about her future schedule, and she reveals that the old man told her over the phone. She wonders how Kang was able to convince her father about this. Kang mentions that they only communicated well, and he allowed him to deliver the training. Deep down, Kang cannot help but admit that Daichun is the most stubborn man he has ever met. Kang then tells Seijin that he has decided to have another parent-teacher conference soon. But deep down, he is planning to beat the living daylights out of Daichun. Seijin thanks Kang with a smile on her face, and Kang can only wonder how someone so good as Seijin was born from that trash who calls himself Daichun. Apparently, the person who defeated Seijin in the WHCU tournament in the coming year was Bianca Lowell, a prodigy from England. She is the daughter of Conrad Lowell, who is considered to be the strongest hunter in the world. The Lowell family is depicted as an incredibly powerful swordsmanship family. Even Bianca's younger brother Ryan was Jiseong's opponent in the WHCU final. However, Bianca is not just dangerous because she is a swordsman. Bianca is capable of using both sword and magic simultaneously, which is pretty hard to go up against. It turns out that the magic she also uses is not just basic because it is at the level of an A-rank hunter. Even in her country, she is considered the reincarnation of Merlin, which says it all. She is a genius of the sword, designated as an S-ranker prospect from a renowned swordsmanship family, which is also blessed. Kang knows that Seijin would always lose against the girl, but he decides to take a trip to Cho's place, because he is pretty sure the man has an answer for everything. When Cho hears Kang's worries, he teases him, asking him if he thinks he is his personal think tank. But Kang knows just how to convince the old man. He lets him know that he brought plenty of the drink that he likes. In addition, he also brought chicken, and it is at this point that the old man realizes that Kang has seriously caught him off guard. Cho assures him that he is glad with everything he brought, but he suggests that they boil water first because he has some perilla seed. Kang is glad that he came prepared because he was always scared that the old man would be annoyed that he hadn't visited in recent times. Kang then places the computer in Cho's front to play Bianca's fighting clips for him. Even the old man is blown away by Bianca's stance, and Cho asks Kang who she is. Kang reveals that she is the previous year's competition his student is entering. He mentions that the video he is watching is a compilation of all her match scenes, which is obviously not long. Cho asks him why the video is not long, demanding to know if she has not fought many times. Kang then explains that this is everything he was able to get, because Bianca's matches always end very fast. She is basically a famous super rookie, and it is pretty impossible that elites from various countries gathered around the world didn't have a good strategy against Bianca. Bianca was a genius who was performing moving casting since the age of 10. She also uses high-speed casting to dispel the opponent's skill, while using multicasting to cast attack magic simultaneously. All of her opponents get trashed pretty easily, and there hasn't been one opponent who's been able to fight off Bianca's strength. Kang tells Cho that Bianca is above the level of most A-rank hunters, and on the other hand, Seijin is at best B-rank. Kang tells Cho that all they have to train Seijin is not more than 2 months, which means a drastic change is needed. Cho admits that by watching the video, he can obviously see that their levels are different. He adds that he hasn't dealt with many sorcerers, so he doesn't even know much. Kang uses this to tease Cho, saying there are things that he can't do, but Cho quickly clears the air, telling him that it is not out of his reach. Cho tells Kang that they might have a chance if he takes Seijin under his wing and teaches her martial arts. Kang is shocked when he hears this, and Cho tells him that the only way to subdue a sorcerer with a sword is to cut off the flow of the sorcery, or to counter with a greater sword aura. Cho tells Kang that he should now be able to see the weakness of sorcery, now that he has reached a higher realm. Kang realizes that Cho is right, because he fought a mage recently, and deep down, Kang knows he has also thought of teaching Sejin martial arts. This is because martial arts is what transformed Kang, who is just a mere B-rank hunter, into a powerful master. However, he is also reluctant to share his martial arts because it is the source of his strength and one of his biggest secrets. However, Cho is telling him to teach it without any hint of reluctance. Kang then asks Cho if he has no issue with him passing his martial arts to another person. Cho berates him, calling him a fool, while telling him that he chose him because he was worth it and not because his dragon eyes told him to do so. Cho asks Kang if he is not curious to see what Sejin is going to become, since he claims that she is a genius. Cho believes that Sejin must have accumulated her inner energy in a crude way, and they are able to convert all the energy she has into internal power. Cho tells Kang to imagine what type of monster she is going to become. Meanwhile, back home, Sejin realizes that she can see clearly without her glasses, which is pretty weird. She wonders if it is thanks to the bitter water given to her by Kang. She also notices that after taking a rest, she feels better, and there are changes in her body. Not long after this, the domestic tournament was held. During the tournament, Sejin displays an overwhelming show of strength that even her opponent doesn't want to believe that she is a student like him. Kang, on the other hand, is not surprised because he knows just how talented Sejin is. Sejin is already powerful without the knowledge of martial arts, but he figures out that if he teaches her martial arts, there might actually be a chance for her against Bianca. After toying around with her opponent for some time, Sejin finally defeats him, knocking him flat to the ground with no chance to stand up. Her classmates are impressed by her power, and they glaze her, saying she is the best because she recorded an easy win. Kang is impressed by how good his students are at supporting Sejin. It turns out that only Eunsu and Sejin are left in the tournament, since everyone from their school has been eliminated. Even though it appears that it is because their skills are lacking, Kang believes that the match pairings were also bad. It turns out that in the second round, Eunsu and Jinsu met and Yunseo ended up fighting Sejin. They had practiced the counter-strategy formulas, but Minhee ended up losing to a third-year mage who was a candidate for the past year's championship. Even though Eunsu advanced to the finals and gave it her all, she ended up losing. Nonetheless, Kang is impressed that first-year students like them are able to reach the finals. Kang believes that if they participate again the following year, they are definitely going to go beyond the finals. Minhee and Eunsu might have lost to Sejin, but this only increases the level of respect that they have for her. Later on, Sejin returns to the spectator seat to ask Kang if he will be watching the finals, but Kang lets her know that he has somewhere to be. He tells her that Xionhua will be coming so that they can return together when the tournament is over. They ask him where he is going and he tells them that he has a parent-teacher conference. Kang expresses just how confident he is that Sejin can do without him, and Sejin nervously tells him that she is going to try her best to win. Kang senses her nervousness, and he lets her know that he is aware that she is worried about the WHCU. Kang then tells her that if she wins the domestic tournament, he is going to give her the solution for the WHCU tournament. As he leaves, Kang motivates her, telling her to go win the final match. Soon afterward, an interview is conducted for Sejin, who is on the verge of setting a grand record of 3 consecutive wins for the first time in the tournament. The host commends her for keeping her composure throughout all the matches, and she asks her if there's been any opponent who has caused some sense of fear in her. Sejin replies that there has been no one really, and the host agrees with her, saying she can't call her arrogant because they know what Sejin is capable of. Since Sejin would be competing in the WHCU, which she got knocked out of in the past year by Bianca, the host asks her if she has any other strategy for the next tournament. Sejin replies that it was a pity because her skills were lacking back then, but this time around, she believes that things would be totally different, thanks to her teacher's guidance. Meanwhile, Kang has arrived at the building where he is supposed to have a duel with Daichan. The host then asks Sejin how far she thinks she can go in the tournament, and she reveals that she hasn't thought about it, but she plans to win to make Kang proud. At the arena for the duel, Daichan expresses his surprise that Kang came without being late. Daichan commends him for having the courage not to run away. Daichan then tells Kang that if he apologizes before the duel begins, he will forget about what happened. But Kang lets him know that he is not interested in his forgiveness. Apparently, there was just one thing Kang was worried about when he was taking the duel, and it was basically a fear that Daichan, who is a prideful man, might not accept the duel. Kang was worried that Daichan might say that competing with an A-rank hunter is beneath his status. Daichan then tells Kang that the duel will end when either of them loses consciousness or surrenders. Daichan tells Kang that he has no choice but to become his son-in-law if he wins. But if Kang wins, he is going to back off from interfering in Sejin's WHCU's schedules. Since there is no complaint whatsoever, Kang urges Daichan to keep his promise. As they start the duel, Daichan gives Kang the opportunity to make the first move. Kang whips out his sword, hoping to see just how far Daichan's arrogant expression is going to last. As the battle is about to begin, mages create a barrier around the arena to make sure that the battle is contained. One of the mages notices Kang using Aura Blade, shocking him, but the other disagrees, saying only S-rankers can use Aura Blade. The first dude agrees with him, but he is still blown away by what he is staring at. Kang raises his sword and prepares a powerful demon sword art with an annihilating force. Kang hurls the strike at Daichun, aiming to take him down at once. As the attack moves toward Daichun, he prepares to counter it, but the force it passes commands as it passes through the arena, shocking the mages. The dude who was previously doubting Kang's Aura Blade starts screaming out of his head, wondering just what type of person Kang is. Unknown to them, Kang is not even using her full strength yet, because if he does this, everyone in the arena would probably die. After Kang's attack finally subsides, it leaves a destructive shadow behind Daichun. Daichun suffers a cut on his face even though he put up 3 barriers to try to stop the attack. Daichun compliments Kang, telling him that he put up a good fight. Kang is shocked to see that the dude actually parried all the attacks, even though it was almost identical to when he fought Mondong. Daichun then tells Kang that his last attack just proved to him that there is no one in his guild who will be able to train Seijin the way Kang will. Because of this, Daichun tells Kang that he has to win the match, since he would like to have him for himself. Daichun looks absolutely creepy when saying this, and Kang realizes that he just came across a madman. As Daichun prepares for his attack, the mages immediately add 6 more barriers. In fact, they don't think this is enough, and they tell every mage available to join them in constructing a barrier. They know for sure that the whole building is going to collapse if Daichun goes wild. Just then, Daichun makes his move, dashing toward Kang in a high-speed manner to confuse him and stop him from being able to read his attacks. Kang admits that the dude is faster than Mondong, but compared to Cho, he is still slow. As Daichun's attack is about to reach him, he blocks the attack and lets out a wicked smile that catches Daichun's attention. Daichun cannot believe that Kang just smiled. He remembers when he requested a duel, and he believed that he was joking. In his mind, Daichun thought he would be able to suppress Kang's duel request with pure strength, but in the end, Kang had been trading blows with him without being suppressed. Daichun soon realizes that Kang is not to be messed with, and even the expression on his face says it all. While Daichun is throwing everything he has at Kang, Kang is simply parrying with little to no stress. Daichun then decides to raise his attack to match up to Kang's level, since it appears that he has been underestimating him from the beginning. Just as he prepares to unleash a powerful attack, the mages freak out because the reinforcements have not arrived. Fortunately for them, 10 dudes arrive just in time to start reinforcing the barrier. After cooking up his powerful attack, Daichun hurls the attack at Kang, and this creates a bunch of slashes, which are made from raw energy. Kang compares this to the Meteor Explosive Annihilation Demonic Force skill that he used in the beginning, wondering if Daichun has an overwhelming amount of mana too. Kang then decides to parry some of the attacks and just dodge the rest, since it is pretty pointless to parry everything. Kang makes his move, dashing across the room, and Daichun believes that he is running, causing him to send more slashes his way. This leaves a powerful presence that even takes a toll on the mages who are putting up their barrier. Blood started dripping out of their noses, and before they knew it, they began dropping like flies, while the barrier's strength also shattered. After everything subsides, Kang remains unharmed, and when Daichun sees this, he is left speechless. He is so mesmerized that he is forced to ask Kang who exactly he is and from whom he learned his sword skills. In his mind, Kang is jumping for joy because it was a stroke of luck that made him run into his master, who is obviously the strongest in the world. Kang then notices that something is pretty off, and this is the fact that no matter how much mana one has, it is not infinite. Kang believes that Daichun has noticed that their skills are similar, but he wonders why he is still engaging in a mindless war of attrition. Just then, Daichun tells Kang that they have to end the duel, and a surprised Kang asks him the reason for this. Daichun tells Kang to look around, and Kang realizes that all of the mages managing the barrier have fainted. Kang immediately figures out that Daichun intentionally attacked the barriers because he already saw that he might lose. Daichun acts as if he didn't know what happened, and he tells Kang that it is a shame that they have to end the match, but he acknowledges his strength. Daichun then tells Kang that just as he promised, he is not going to give Seijin any other training, and he won't interfere either. However, urges Kang to join his guild if Seijin loses her match. This is when it dawns on Kang that Daichun is truly a persistent old man. Kang assures the old man that he is going to accept the proposal, but he also has a condition attached to this. Daichun asks him what it is, and without hesitation, Kang punches him so hard in the face, causing him to bleed so hard. Daichun asks him why he did it, and Kang says he already knows this. It was already obvious that he knew that he was going to win the sparring match, and he ruined it, so he made a new proposal. Kang then tells him that the one hit he suffered is a bit of a generous price for his dignity. Daichun finds it hard to even say anything, and Kang lets him know that he is definitely going to make Seijin win as long as he doesn't interfere with the training. Kang also lets the man know that he is not going to go easy on him if, after Sejin wins the match, he starts causing trouble or saying trash. With this, Kang believes that all of his preparations to make Sejin, the generational talent, shine are finally complete. However, they are on a tight schedule, and he doesn't know just how much she can assimilate before then. Nonetheless, Kang is eager to eat wild ginseng roots with Sejin and show her how it is done. At the same time, Sejin has won the finals by overwhelmingly defeating her opponent. After her resounding victory, she grants another interview, and the host asks her if the WHCU is the next thing on her mind, and she simply says yes. Deep down, the host wants a more comprehensive answer from Sejin, so she can properly milk her. She then decides to change the question, asking Sejin if there is any player she is particularly conscious of in the next tournament. Sejin replies that she is conscious of Bianca, but when Bianca was asked the same question on her end, she replied that she is not scared of anyone. Bianca was asked if she didn't see last year's runner-up, Rohan, as a threat, and she trashed him, saying he wasn't impressive. Bianca is also asked about the lady who represented Japan, and she still maintains her stance that none of them can move up to her standard. Even though she is talking trash, the interviewer is enjoying it because this is what she wants. Just then, the interviewer learns about Sejin's victory, and she decides to ask Bianca about Sejin. The interviewer already thinks she would be able to milk Bianca with this, but she simply replies that Sejin was a crybaby who lost to her in the preliminaries. She even went as far as to tease that she is probably stronger than the people they mentioned earlier. Even the interviewers are left stunned by how ruthless Bianca is. Bianca continues by saying she is looking forward to how many minutes Sejin will be able to last against her this time around. Bianca confidently tells them that no matter how strong Sejin has gotten, she or no other person has what it takes to rival her. Later on, Kang gives Sejin 3 ginseng roots, telling her to chew them. Sejin is disgusted by the roots because she obviously doesn't know the uses, and Kang lets her know that it is pretty expensive. Kang lets her know that she has to at least match half of Bianca's mana capacity if she even wants to try anything. He tells her that the only options they have are to dope and take shortcuts. Sejin has no choice but to bite into the bitter ginseng root, and since there is no time to celebrate her last victory, they have already gone to Mount Sirak for an intensive private lesson. It was pretty obvious that the time remaining was short, and Sejin was aiming for the championship. After eating all the ginseng roots, Kang commends her strength, but lets her know that her hardship is just about to begin. He asks Sejin if she trusts him, and Sejin lets him know that she would not have started in the first place if she didn't. She assures Kang that she is ready to do whatever it takes, so he doesn't have to worry about her. After this, Kang proceeds with the next stage, which is to try to help her open her vessels. This is when Sejin screams out in pain, saying she takes back everything she said. When Kang finally pulls back, Sejin is already sweating as if she were in an oven, and she confesses that she thought she was going to die. She asks Kang if it is finally over, but Kang decides to play the same card Cho played on him. He tells Sejin that he didn't use the right spot, and he has to redo it. Sejin almost passed out this time around. But when Kang was finally done, Sejin could see the difference. Kang has been able to open Sejin's vessels, using the method he learned from Cho. Thanks to everything he learned from Cho, it was easy for Sejin to convert all of the internal energy that was previously in her body. Sejin is left in awe as she finally gets to see her internal energy swelling all around her. She gets to see what Kang has been talking about, and she realizes that it is more refined than mana. Kang realizes that Sejin is already feeling the internal energy, and he tells her to make sure that she doesn't skip her mental cultivation until she gets used to it. Kang lets her know that she won't be able to go back to the path of an ordinary hunter who uses mana. Sejin is blown away by everything Kang is doing for her, and at the lengths he is going for this. This leaves her wondering why Kang is stressing himself so much. Sejin is forced to ask Kang why he is going through all the trouble to help her out, and Kang reveals that he made a deal with her father. Sejin is confused by this, and Kang tells her that her father already told him that he would have to join his guild if Sejin doesn't win. Kang mentions that he is forced to set a condition to push Daichan out of the training schedule so that he can do everything to make Sejin win. Kang admits that no matter how they look at it, he actually made a deal that was only beneficial to Daichan. Sejin is still thinking about just how much Kang has sacrificed when he reveals that he bet all of the money he has on Sejin's victory. Sejin is surprised to hear this, and she asks Kang if he is seriously gambling with her as the subject. But Kang assures her that it is a bet through a legal platform designated by the International Hunter Association. Kang reveals that one of the ginseng roots that she ate is worth 500 million won each. He mentions that they are so rare that they only come out in auctions. Kang makes it spicy by telling Sejin that he is not going to lose on the deal because if Sejin loses, she is going to have a hard time with her father. Just then, Kang tells Sejin that he will quit the school if she wins, and it is at this point that Sejin thanks her stars that Kang is a materialistic person. Since Sejin has passed the first stage, Kang tells her that it is time for them to start the full-scale training. Sejin is excited to start training, and she asks Kang if the first thing they are doing is to learn how to counter Bianca. Kang lets her know that countering is pretty good, but they have to find a way to make better use of the advantages of internal energy. Kang reminds her that Bianca's specialty is Dispel, which means she has an overpowered ability to instantly deactivate her opponent's skills. However, Kang lets her know that she won't have use for mana again. Kang reveals that Sword Chi and Sword Gang are created with internal energy, which cannot be dispelled. Kang tells Sejin that they are going to learn a finishing move for the one moment when Bianca is going to lower her guard. Kang shows Sejin what he is talking about, and she is shocked when she realizes that it is the technique that he used in the duel with Mandong. Sejin is totally blown away by the overwhelming power of the skill, and Kang assures her that he is going to pass the meteor exploding demonic skill to her. Since life is short, Kang wants them to go big from the start. Before they know it, 3 weeks fly past, and Kang believes that training is already over, even though it appears that it was just yesterday that he took permission. Even though the time frame was short, Kang believes that he succeeded in the mission. During their time together, Kang has confirmed the fact that Sejin is an incredible student. Kang knows that Sejin might not have been able to learn the skill if it were not for the main character class individual that she possesses. After shattering a wall with the skill, Sejin turns to Kang, asking him if she did well, even though she is not quite on his level yet. Kang commends her, saying she did well, and with this, he believes that it is time for them to prepare for the championship. Kang then suggests that they pack their bags and head back. Talking about the WHCU, it is hosted by 4 countries: the USA, the UK, France, and Russia. However, that year's tournament is being held in London. Seonhwa and Iseol see Sejin off to the airport and wish her luck on the championship. They urge her not to be nervous and just do as she has always done. Kang thanks the two for seeing them off, and he urges them to get back home safely. It turns out that aside from Kang, who is escorting Sejin to London, Mandong has also joined them. When Mandong asked Kang if he could come along, Kang figured out that he was bored with staying at the school all the time. Mandong manages to convince Kang by telling him that he is going to upgrade their seat to business class and even serve him with all of his heart. In no time, the flight to London takes off and everything appears normal, even though they are going for a big event. Soon afterward, they arrive in London, and they are expected to participate in the round of 64. Mandong complains about the jet lag, but Kang reminds him that he has a better body build than Sejin, and she is not complaining. Mandong basically uses this to commend Sejin's strength, saying she has incredible strength. As they walk through the lobby, Kang can see everyone staring at them, leaving him to wonder why this is. He wonders if it is because of his face or because of Mandong's large physique. Just then, Mandong says he heard something from one of his sources from London, and it appears that Sejin is the talk of the town. Apparently, the record she set in the local tournament has spread everywhere. It turns out that she incapacitated every opponent she encountered within minutes. There were even articles telling Bianca to watch her back because the future of Korea, Sejin, is coming for her. Kang is surprised to hear this, and he realizes that they didn't know what happened because they were training in the mountains. Kang finally figures out why several eyes are on Sejin. In fact, there have been reports that if Sejin and Bianca are placed in the same group, it can be considered the finals. Kang is relieved to see that everyone staring at them is not from a place of hate, but from a place of admiration, because they believe that Sejin is the only one who can save them from Bianca. Mandong then asks Kang if it is true that he bet on Sejin, and Kang confirms this, saying he sold all of his stocks and even pulled out all the loans he could so he could bet on Sejin. Kang then asks Mandong if he bet on another student, but he reveals that he bet on Sejin too. Kang cannot believe that the old man also bet on Sejin, but he quickly twists it, saying it was to support her. But there is nothing he can say that will make it look better. Mandong then whispers in Kang's ear, telling him that almost everyone is betting on Bianca to win, and Mandong says it might be hard for Sejin to win, given how she has been performing in the other tournaments. Kang tells the old man that he is not concerned with whatever they are saying, and he advises him to quickly put more money on Sejin. Mandong is surprised to hear this, and he asks Kang how good he thinks Sejin is for him to be this confident. Kang then asks Mandong if he remembers their last duel, and Mandong says yes. With a confident expression, Kang lets him know that there is not much of a difference between him from back then and the current Sejin. Mandong is stunned when he hears this, and not long after this, the bracket is drawn. When Kang sees this, he considers it a shame that Sejin is at the opposite end of the bracket from where Bianca was drawn. In the tournament, the number 1 faces number 2, and the winner faces the winner of numbers 3 and 4. With the way things are playing out, Sejin figures out that she is going to meet Bianca in the finals. Kang then calls Sejin to inform her that her first opponent is a player from Ukraine who is a spearman. Apparently, he is a prospect for the tournament, And since it is the first match, Kang suggests that they make an impact. Kang tells Sejin not to go easy on the dude, and she should end the match as quickly as possible. Sejin acknowledges her master's orders, and she takes this motivation into the arena. Once both parties are ready, the referee blows the whistle, and barely 10 seconds after that, the match ends in a flash. This leaves everyone watching stunned. For the 32nd round, Sejin's opponent is from Italy, and she is a mage. Apparently, she tried to mimic Bianca's strategy from the past year's tournament by using a binding spell from the start, but Sejin easily breaks through and dashes toward her opponent with her sword, forcing her to quickly surrender. Although Sejin was able to win against the mage, Kang doesn't think the same strategy will work against Bianca. Nonetheless, Kang believes that it would be very nice to crush someone as powerful as Bianca, even though he is pretty sure that Bianca doesn't feel any sense of threat from Sejin yet. The matches continue with Sejin taking down her opponents quickly, but Bianca still thinks there is nothing serious to be worried about. This is exactly what Kang wants, so she can continue to let her guard down until the finals, where she will get hit with something she is not expecting, which is the meteor shower. The following day, Sejin easily wins her match again, and even though her opponents have no plan of going easy on her, Sejin still easily takes them down. In the semi-final match, Sejin knocked out her opponent so hard that he was saved by the referee's whistle. However, Kang is impressed that the dude even lasted a whole 1 minute against Sejin. The crowd is going nuts as they all chant Sejin's name, talking about how she is a hot prospect that has just emerged from Korea. They are confident that she is going to become an icon of national prestige once the tournament ends. Even though everyone is singing her praises, when the odds for the finals come out, Bianca is given a low 1.04 odds, while Sejin is given the highest odds of 20.4. It is not surprising, since everyone is subconsciously aware that Sejin is going to lose to Bianca. They are all convinced that no matter who Bianca is facing, she will always come out on top. After her semifinals match, Bianca is asked why she has not been using magic since the start of the tournament, but has easily been taking down her opponents. Bianca tells them that she has won twice with magic, and this time around, she plans to win with the sword only. The interviewer asks her if she is not going to use magic throughout the tournament. She reminds them that she is representing the UK, and if an emergency arises, she might be forced to use it. Nonetheless, she is confident that there might be no need for him to use magic even in the finals. The people are stunned when they hear this because Bianca is just so confident and full of herself. Apparently, on her first match, she let the opponent have the first move before ending the match, but on the second day, she basically ended her match fast without mercy. Kang can basically see through Bianca, and she knows that she is already becoming wary of Sejin, who is a swordsman. It is pretty obvious that Bianca is the heir of a family that is reliant on swords. But Bianca has been using magic mostly. Kang then turns to Sejin, commending her for doing well so far, while reminding her that she has to take the finals interview. Kang tells her that Mandong has already promised to buy her something expensive when she gets back. But Sejin doesn't think there is any need for this, since she is low on appetite. Kang reminds her that she has to eat, and she agrees, but says she might suffer from indigestion, so she would prefer to just stay the way she is. Kang quickly figures out that Sejin is nervous, which is why she is refusing to eat. Kang then motivates her by telling her that he believes in her and that she is not going to make him a pauper. Kang reminds her that he believes in her, which is why he put his entire fortune on her. Sejin panics when she hears this because she is scared that she might actually lose, but Kang smacks her head, telling her that everything he is saying is to tell her that he believes in her. Kang assures Sejin that he will be fine even if she loses because he can just earn the money back. With a bright smile on her face, Kang tells Sejin that whatever happens is not an issue, so he urges her to do her best. However, deep down, Kang is begging her to do her best, because if she loses, he is going to get dragged down to her father's guild. Just then, Sejin tells Kang that she is going to go all out from the start to the finish, and Kang agrees with her to give it her all so that there are no regrets. As Sejin walks toward the broadcasting room for her interview, she walks past Bianca, and suddenly, Bianca turns around because she feels something. It is at this moment that Bianca realizes that Sejin is now a monster just like her. Bianca had thought she was the only irregular of her generation, but it turns out that she is wrong. She realizes that what she felt from Sejin is something she has never felt before, even though she has researched countless mana textbooks. Bianca can see that there is another source of energy other than mana that is running through Sejin's body. Bianca's assistant notices the change in her expression and she asks her what the issue is. Bianca reveals that she might have given the wrong answer in her interview. The assistant is confused by this and she asks Bianca what she means by this. Bianca replies that her answer that she won't use magic in the finals is totally the wrong one. The next day, everyone is already seated in the arena for the long-awaited match between Bianca and Sejin. This is a match for the prospective S-rank hunter, and everyone is focused on the underdog Sejin, who was eliminated quite early in the last tournament, but appears to have grown beyond recognition. In the stands, Mandong scolds Kang for not giving Sejin any word of encouragement, even though she is entering the arena for the finals. Kang then replies that he already told Sejin everything that she needs to know in the waiting room earlier on. Mandong immediately becomes curious about what Kang told Sejin, claiming that he is worried since her opponent is Bianca, who has won the tournament twice in a row. Kang then urges Mandong to chill out because he is going to know what he told her very soon. Moments later, the match begins, and back home, Daichan is monitoring everything, wondering what will happen in the end. The moment the match begins, Sejin immediately dashes backward, creating some sort of distance between herself and Bianca. Bianca is shocked when she sees this, because she doesn't expect a swordsman to put distance between herself and her opponent. This immediately leaves everyone wondering what is happening because Sejin has always charged aggressively in her past matches. When Mandong sees this, he screams at Kang because he immediately figures out what Sejin is about to do. Kang reminds him of what he said about Sejin reaching a level similar to his. As they stare at the arena, Sejin is already cooking up her powerful skill, and Kang knows that there is none of Sejin's peers who can actually stop her as it stands. The crowd is shocked when they see what Sejin is cooking up because it looks like an aura sword. They don't want to believe that a student is able to use an aura sword. Even Bianca is surprised because Sejin is using a refined version of the aura sword, which is a level of mastery that is not expected from a student. Bianca figured out that there was something off about Sejin, and she had finally seen that she was hiding a trump card. Bianca admits that it is impressive that Sejin held back until the finals. However, Bianca doesn't think she has anything to worry about because she has faced aura-based swordsmanship plenty of times while sparring with active hunters. Bianca believes that she is going to neutralize Sejin's attack easily. Bianca activates her Dispel spell, but to her shock, the spell isn't working. This was one of her signature spells, but it is failing at the biggest stage of the tournament. It is a skill that is capable of canceling magic spells and also mana-based mental buffs, which include physical enhancements. 2 years ago, there was another student who challenged Bianca with an aura sword, but she easily dispelled it. However, what is brewing in front of her right now isn't mana, but internal energy. At this point, Bianca is already panicking because she has never heard of a mana that cannot be neutralized. Bianca quickly raises her shield, and when the attack lands, it creates a massive explosion and a blinding light. This forces everyone out of their seats as they try to understand what is happening in their presence. Even Jinsu is worried that Bianca is already dead with the type of attack that Sejin just used against her. However, Unsu berates him, telling him to stop jinxing it because she is just going to turn out fine. When the dust finally clears off, Bianca is perfectly okay behind her damaged shield, but she looks really worried. It is pretty obvious that the match would have been over if Bianca had not put up her shield in the last minute. Even Mandong is blown away, because he can't believe that what he is watching is an exchange between two students. He finally understands why Kang was confident that Sejin has what it takes. However, Mandong is worried about Sejin collapsing from exhaustion just like Kang did during their duel after using a major technique. Mandong mentions that Bianca is not injured, but it appears that she is startled, and if she has the mana to launch a counterattack, he believes that Sejin would be in danger. Kang then tells Mandong that what Sejin used is not actually an aura sword, but a technique below that. It is basically a mass-produced killer move, which is modified for repeated use. Bianca almost passes out in fear when she realizes that another strike is coming at her. Kang reminds Mandong that he placed all of his fortune on Sejin, and there is no way he is going to be relaxed doing that with a move that works only once. It turns out that Kang actually got a hint from his duel against Daichan. He noticed that an aura blade can be swung around recklessly till every surrounding barrier is shattered. In addition, the mages were drained of every last drop of mana. This was when Kang realized that he could downgrade the Meteor Shower skill and use it just the same way Daichan did. Basically, their objective is not to take Bianca's life, but to make sure that she is defeated and the championship is claimed. They just want to keep attacking her relentlessly until she exhausts her mana on barriers and loses consciousness. It turns out that this is the strategy that Sejin and Kang devised to use against Bianca. Before Bianca knows it, she is already putting up 8 layers of barrier just to keep Sejin's attack out. For the next 10 minutes, Bianca continued enduring this meteor shower even though it was pretty hard. In the end, Bianca is knocked to the ground after grueling attacks, and she is saved thanks to A-rank safety officers who are on standby. With this, the referee declares the match over, and Sejin is ultimately declared the winner of the tournament. Celebration ensues the moment Sejin is declared the winner of the tournament, and with tears rolling down her face, Sejin takes her trophy. 1 month after this, Kang and Sejin each buy a building just in case they want to start a guild later in the future. During her interview at the airport upon her return, Sejin reveals that she won't be joining Daichan's guild. Instead of this, she declared that she would operate independently and establish her own guild when she reached A rank. Even though hunters make good money, they are already asking the two how they make their money. Kang then gives Se-jin a wild ginseng valued at 1.5 billion won, which was an advance payment that he bet in her name. Se-jin almost suffers from a brain freeze when Kang finally tells her just how much the bet payout was. Se-jin was able to secure an overwhelming fortune, since everyone else was betting on Bianca. However, there was one other person who profited more than Se-jin, and this is none other than Kang himself. Because of how rich he is, he started buying up buildings. He intentionally buys a building close to Hwasun Electronics, which is the corporation run by Lee Ji-sung's family. Since he is neighbors with the main character, Kang believes that he is in the safest place on Earth. Kang basically has enough money to last him a lifetime, and he also has good looks to boot. Because of how much he is glazing himself, Se-jin asks him if he is planning to quit the school, and Kang confesses that he has not thought about it yet. Suddenly, it dawns on him that he doesn't even need a salary anymore, and Se-jin then decides to ask her a question about after she graduates. Se-jin wants them to start a business together, but Kang refuses. Kang tells her that there are two things best friends should never do together. The first one is not to join the military together, and never to start a business together. Kang lets Se-jin know that he has no interest in what she is proposing, because he just wants to be a wealthy slacker. Nonetheless, he believes that he shouldn't quit until the swordsmanship class graduates from the school. With this, another side story is unlocked, and the system informs him that from that moment forward, his story as an extra will be recorded. Kang doesn't mind because he gets to do what he wants, and he also chooses whatever title he wants for the story, as he and Se-jin have a good time together, marking the end.
How's it going, people? Jack here with another video, and you are checking out some more D&D shorts today. And this is of course on Legend of Avantris, who are continuously being extremely funny. I actually went and watched some of their long form content, being the actual streams that they carry, and these shorts are amazing. The exaggerated mannerisms of the animation that Yukari does, obviously knocks it out of the park, but really it doesn't do the humor enough justice. So please, if you will, feel free to do so. Go and subscribe to their main channel, watch some of the stuff, even have it running in the background while you're doing something, just to help show some support. But today we're diving into the other funny part of the Dimwits. It's such a stupid name. Well, the return of the Dimwits into Dimwits campaign that they have going on. And this is the Uprooted that many people have been talking about in the comment section of the previous reaction. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into this.
Bitsy, yeah? You told us that your town was going to kick you out forever, and you don't even seem upset about that.
They keep asking me to leave, and I didn't leave, and then they were going to tell me to kick out, and then I was going to be kicked out.
The rotating head.
Why were they going to kick you out?
Because they don't understand the difference between lemons and lemon juice.
What?
It's a long story. You wouldn't understand.
I'm really trying here.
If they had to kick you out because they didn't understand the difference between
They would do the same.
Lemon juice, we might have to kick you out if we don't understand the difference between lemons and lemon juice.
Well, the one is the lemon, and then the other's like a liquidy juice type. They kept saying that one came from the other, and that's horseshit.
Clearly, the
What?
juice
The
comes
juice
from the lemon. But once you squeeze the juice out of the lemon, it's
You've got seeds.
I don't have any lemons on me, but if you squeeze that lemon juice came out, I wouldn't.
Oh.
All right, when we get to Clickblock, I am going to blow your mind.
Oh, go back. I like how her mind expanded so much that she actually started floating. That's good.
I don't think
Letting
I
everybody take whatever
deserve
they
this.
like.
I didn't do a thing.
You did a lot more than you'd think.
honestly, if it weren't, did you just eat your money?
No, I thought this was ale.
Oh, and when it ended up being coins, you just swallowed it anyway?
Why not?
I thought it was weird ale.
You just give us 3 days.
Coin.
Okay, I'm gonna go get a stick.
Oh.
Raise my tongue to stay cool. Doesn't work very well in this suit of armor.
Or that body.
What is taking out?
Dexterity can.
It's because your face is so short.
Well, it's more my snout, not really my face.
Well, your snout is part of your face.
Well, it's just part of my face.
Yeah, you have a short face.
Well, no, you could have like a long face and a short snout, or a short snout and a long face. Like a concave face.
Soup out of grumpy face.
It's not as good as a bread bowl, but I'll try it.
Oh my god, why was that so hilarious? The concave face and a constant thing, like, was it a slide on a character creator screen? My god.
You have to make sure to clean his folds first. I don't know. I think maybe it would have like
Oh yeah, oh no. Yeah, I don't know, from Shar-Peis to like Napoleon Mastiffs and even Bloodhounds as in some certain occasions. Some will argue that sure, it serves the purpose of them being slippery if they are used for hunting. Sure, but that's got to be a pain to have so many fools and like I don't want to be mean to certain doggies out there. They're clearly loved, but something is a little bit disgusting about it. And even more so if they get anthropomorphized and they have hair and whatever it is hidden underneath. Ugh.
So did any of you have a summer job when you were growing up?
Just one normal breakfast. That's all I want.
I used to work at a place called Quack Donald's.
Quack
and there
Donald's.
was this duck that came in. Flonald was his name. And he would stick his finger in and out of his belly button with a loud, squishy pop.
I'm gonna
Ew.
Over and over and over again as he
Ew.
went,
I want the big and nasty.
and I would say, Flonald, do you mean the big and tasty, sir? And he'd go,
No, the big and nasty.
Why does he say it like Ravensburn from That's So Ravens? When she refers to her little brother Corey. You nasty.
and so I would order him the big and tasty, and then I'd see him again the next day. That's how I paid for college.
The shock on their faces.
Just me trying to give them a ride. I can't say that. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just me.
There's a giant mouse. What did you just say?
Lawsuit.
You get my hair out of your mouth, scum!
Dangerous territory. We're trying here, Mike. Get the attorneys already on the leases.
Did I see you infringing on my property?
You all look crazy. She's especially crazy. I kind of like it. What's your name, sweetheart?
My name's Peggy, and I'm single.
Oh.
Jesus, from
You want me to take my clothes off so you can
Keep
see
the
what
mask
I'm
on.
I'm gonna leave the mask on though.
Am I gonna learn why
Yup.
I call you Peggy?
This metronome is just one extreme to the other.
I take my clothes off.
Well, damn.
They've learned that this was a socially acceptable thing to do on a regular basis.
It's what I always say. They can put my clothes back on. They never do.
I'm going to dive into the grease and attempt to slip underneath him, and I'm going to start to go up to grab him by the leg and then move him backwards behind him.
Why so fake?
The crusher feet. And slide back 5 feet. I slide underneath him and grab him by the leg.
Again.
Like so. And then I roll on top of him so that I'm actually straddling him, grab both of his feet, and do another roll. And he double suplexes, cracking his skull back against the greasy floor each time. And then I flip around, grab him, and I Bowser-style Super Mario him all the way around, smashing him into the side and throwing him out in one direction. Yes!
You chucked this a teenage possum.
And he flies covered in grease. And he smashes against the barrel and
Oh no!
I run over and I check to see if he's alive. No, he's not.
What's your name?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh my god!
Nachschubstation aktiviert.
Oh, you're
Oh, hazelnut!
Okay. This is just like a massive setup for a these not jokes. I bet it is.
Is Grandma next to her?
Believe it or not.
Neuer Raumbetrieb. Schwierigkeitsgrad. Hochrangiges Ziel.
Kill Grandma Nut.
remember there was that weird uncle that no one wanted to talk about.
Hazel. Oh, these, yeah.
Feindlicher Kombatant festgestellt.
Just nuts.
Disingenuous the twins, they were. Yeah, we don't talk about disingenuous.
The peanuts is pretty good, huh? Some peanuts. I feel scratchy. It's delicious in here.
Oh no. Anaphylactic shock.
You're in trouble, Derek.
You feel your throat start to close up as your eyes start to water. And untested, very serious peanut allergy.
Yeah, she's screwed.
To be honest, I don't think we have anything to solve this. I think Bitsy's just gonna die here.
Bitsy, do I have permission to enter you?
Wow. I mean, goddamn. Well, in the least, she's being very polite about it. Do I have your permission to enter? I'm gonna use that in the future.
I'm gonna stick my frog tongue in Bitsy's throat and try and pry her throat open.
You are choking and gagging on a frog tongue. Make a medicine check, actually, to see how well it works.
I almost rolled a chicken nugget.
You hear some heavy breathing behind you by the door. You look back and you see two large frog eyes.
Oh my!
That's it. No.
It's a pervert!
Wait, pervert! We need to know where the costumes are!
Oh, you mispronounced it.
No, she didn't.
Pervert's not even close.
Weirdly enough, it's not the first time I've had to yell that.
Oh
And a nickel for every time I had to yell, close the door, there's a pervert. That's 2 nickels. Which is a lot, but it's weird that it's happened more than once.
So Joey says, oh, you're not going to go naked? You could go naked. I mean, just joking. Okay, we'll go. I don't dare lay eyes on him.
Oh, but you dare lay eyes on me while I'm in my towel?
Oh, yes.
Jesus Christ, it's all in the eyes. It's like a sinister version of sweet.
Man, I'm uncomfortable. I thought I was going to have a witty joust of words, and instead I'm just going to throw up.
We can still enjoy a witty joust. Oh, dudes. It's Tony.
Did you personally prepare these?
Oh, what is that?
Oh, I shouldn't.
But you will.
Okay, just one.
Just shots of clam chowder.
Oh.
Like when we went out to eat lunch and I ordered soup and the chef came out to the table and he didn't ask anybody else how their food was, but he looked at me and he's like, do you like the soup? No. Isn't it creamy?
Oh.
No. Time out. This story is real, but Kelsey likes to make him sound like a
But was the soup good?
Was the soup good? Was it? It was actually.
Yeah, the restaurant was
I don't think it was supposed to be creamy, but it was good.
Okay.
We'll unpack what's supposed to be creamy means in the Banters and Chill. What's a Banters and Chill, Andy?
Looks like a pathetic weasel. No offense. You're not a weasel. You're a lizard. Looks like a pathetic
I'm not
weasel
even a
to me.
mammal.
Yeah?
Yeah, cold-blooded.
What's that like?
I'm cold all the time.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It means he can't enjoy spicy food either.
Oh,
That's actually well said, because cold-blooded animals, reptiles and such, do not have the similar pain receptors that other mammals would then have. Unless we're talking about period of fucking platypus. Don't quote me on that. I know that platypuses are different. They are mammals but lay eggs, and the blood is like lower than the average mammals, are like 32 degrees or something like that. So they're not quite cold-blooded, but I would imagine that they will be a little bit more different as well. They are a very weird case of Australian fuckery. But yeah, it's true, reptiles and amphibians, for the most part, cannot taste spicy food.
Why not?
Only mammals are affected by capsaicin. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it's true.
I'm more cold-blooded than the evening at Blue Jay Simpson's house.
Oh, Jesus.
God.
No, Mike. He's on the danger now.
Danger now.
What have you done?
They keep implicating these people.
He's walking the streets right now.
When did Blue Jay Simpson get out of jail?
The feather doesn't fit, you must have quit.
He's coming for you.
Good night, Hazel. Good night, Peggy. Good night. Good night, Grumly.
Bruh. The handcuffs.
Oh, good night, Peggy.
Good night.
Good night, Grumly.
I sat on the waterbed, but he still has the rusty nail.
Oh.
Dang it!
Good night, Hank.
Good night, Bitsy.
Good night, Frankie. Good night, pervert.
Good night, good night, good night, good night.
Pervert.
Alexander Hamilton, why are there so many perverts in your mansion?
Well, what do you mean? Like just my guests?
They're in the
Ew.
walls. They look through the eye holes and they stick things through the holes.
They peeked at us while we were sleeping and changing our
They
clothes.
got under the floorboards, they took the door off, they looked at us while we were changing.
They tell us they've got sausage for us, but it's not really sauce.
I took a bite of one. It wasn't sausage at all.
What was it?
It was a penis.
The super strong face.
No. Well, I mean, eventually, but somebody's walking around with a bloody penis.
I'm right with you, Hamilton.
No other way to say this.
He was screaming.
He's a magic wizard with one.
It's gonna turn into a very nice toboggan pretty soon here.
Oh no, he's not the worst at all.
I thought you said when you came in here that we'd like to purchase 5 toboggans.
What? You said the word toboggan. You said toboggan.
He seems to be comfortable. Did you say that?
We happen to have a large circular spinning stage that runs on charcoal
It
paper.
can fit like 400 characters at any given moment.
All I got is a toboggan display rotating device. There's nothing like what
Excuse me. But why tobaggans though in the woods? It's a weird ass business. Like I would understand if it was like winter, because I did manage to catch it was like an autoplay there once upon a the Christmas specials. I can't exactly remember what it was called, but that would have made sense because there's snow.
A 400-person sized circle with a bunch of toboggans on it that's just rotating.
Oh, no, that's too bad.
Before this, you want to purchase 5 toboggans.
Not need the toboggan. That's somebody else. I don't know who you were talking to. When we came here, there was nobody here. Why are you making toboggans all the way down here? Who the hell is buying a toboggan? It's like summer here, year round.
This guy's about to go bankrupt. He needs the money so badly.
And ever since you joined this party, that I feel like I've lost control of everything.
Why?
You were
Just
talking.
because I know which way west is?
You're about to show us. Go ahead.
Well, now it's that way.
What do you mean? It just changed?
Well, no, it's whichever way you're facing, so...
Whichever way you're facing.
Oh, dear Lord. Turn west. Now, which way's west? Okay, no, just keep going west.
I'd make a wide circle.
You've seen people who do this for like 8 hours. Actual west never changes, no matter which way you're facing.
This sounds like Illuminati.
They're the ones that poison the water. Called the Illuminati.
We'll talk on the way, come on.
I'm going to, as the kids say, raw dog this. Go.
They say
No one should be saying that. It's been de-euphemized.
That's why I made that joke about raw dogging the Dave Matthews I was specifically talking about the concert itself, and I was using the new version of the word because language evolved. I'm gonna raw dog this recap. I'm gonna get slapped with a banana.
Bezos just tuned in.
Get me the president.
We have AI-generated chat summaries on Twitch. AI has letting new viewers know what's going on in the stream. Viewers are coming everything on the Twitch stream, with some recognizing that Peggy is back, and others joking about eating a dog raw.
Do you think I'll have a concussion?
Probably.
Oh, make sure I don't go to sleep.
Okay.
Can you keep me up, Booker, please?
You feel very sleepy.
Yes.
I'm tired, Booker.
No. I don't have a spray bottle. Wake up.
This toboggan feels bad.
Stay away.
Are you spitting on me?
Spray bottle.
Into my fur. That's right on my arm, and I barely. Oh, there we go.
He likes it.
You've been drinking a lot of milk, huh? Peggy, it's that duck guy.
Which one?
Well, you know, he was all like, oh.
Oh, not the nasty one.
Yeah, he had kind of a lisp.
Don't they all?
Freaking table as prop.
He sees my clown mask slowly rising up over the rim of the rubber.
Nestor, are you okay? You look rough, buddy.
Nesta, how many fingers am I holding?
I saw a mom and her son all cut in half, but their legs had flipped over and it was actually quite comical.
Yeah, I remember that too. Actually,
You saw that?
I was right there.
Nestor, it's not your fault. It's not your fault, Nestor.
Oh, really?
It's not your fault.
Oh, wow. The art.
On my job to serve as the safety inspector and face into toe.
That was you?
Oh, the switch. It is your fault.
I know you were the safety inspector. That was your fault. That was your fault.
I've never been made aware that my suit is not working this overlay.
No, it don't. I don't know how to solve this problem.
You'll have to move over or something.
What does this actually say?
Mix him up over bits of
My glass.
The question, are you seeking or advertising?
I'm thirsty.
I'm gonna step through the bars.
Whoa, hold on there, Terminator.
And come back inside through the bars.
He has scooped up some Coca-Cola wine.
Ew.
And it's not through the bars.
No!
It's called sangria.
Sangria.
That's foul.
Bro, I have plans of making sangria. Fuck you, Betsy. I just bought a new Ninja mixer and I was thinking to myself that I'm gonna get myself some nice and tasty fruit drinks. But thanks, Betsy, that is not happening.
It's red, and there's definitely some colored bubbles.
Fucking mine.
I hate to be that person, but you're holding up those sheets of paper. They don't have any writing on them.
Oh, hold on, not these, not these, of course not these.
What are the charges?
But don't you fret. I have experience in criminal law. I have gotten a murderer or two off scot-free.
Did they do it?
Well, that's open to interpretation and opinion.
What about alleged?
But I know that the Blue Jay Simpson thanked me quite handsomely.
What about an plea for that I wasn't in my right mind? I can act a little crazy if I need to.
How crazy can you be, boy?
How much we talking here? I can really play it all day.
Let me see an example.
I was gonna say you're only gonna get this once, but if this is the angle we're going, I'm probably gonna have to do this a lot.
Grummy?
How's that?
Yeah.
I didn't even get the ball of performance.
Dude, he had to deal with Blue Jay Simpsons, meaning that if he's a lawyer who is just slightly as awful as the Dersh, yeah, that performance was nothing.
This is insanity! This is kangaroo court! I won't stand for this!
Oh, no.
The kangaroo being disappointed.
Crazy approach at the closing time at the gentleman's club. So, do you want to get out of this?
Yes,
free.
yes, I do.
Okay, well then we need lots of people who can lie for us.
Who is this scot-free? What has your brother's boyfriend got to do with this? I don't understand.
How did you know about Remy Lon LeBlue?
No, I thought his boyfriend said he was scot-free. He said
No,
he got
it's
him off.
Remy Lon LeBlue.
So
survive this. I created magic.
Well, what in the heck do you need a lawyer for? Can't you just get him off yourself?
I've tried a couple of times, but it just takes so long.
Oh, I see.
Wow. I had to catch on to that.
Get off on cue.
Yeah, you never worry about getting off on cue. He's gonna get up on the stand. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna wave my arms around in a dramatic fashion, and he's gonna get off faster than any man you've ever seen.
You might have created magic, but he's a wizard at getting people off.
Wait a man, speaks truth.
He has to bar.
What you writing, you weird freak?
We actually don't have to worry about that. I don't know why they still do this, because bats can't spell. I guarantee you turn that paper.
Hey, turn that paper around. Let me see that paper.
Maybe a doodle.
She says aggressively.
So cold.
Stop writing.
Stop writing.
Stop writing.
Hey, stop writing.
Stop writing.
Stop writing.
Oh.
Stop.
Are you gonna pretend to have rabies again?
Only if I have to. We never got the command word.
Well, I wish you wouldn't joke about it. I have a phobia. It's a rabies.
It's rabies. It's a dog.
virus on Earth.
That's actually very true.
Yeah, you literally need to be plunged into a coma. At least that's one of the methods that we found to cure it. So to help you. And even then, it's not a guarantee.
I'm ready.
Very serious.
You'll be all right as long as you guys got your
Reminder to go to the doctor.
Extremely serious.
If anyone tries to rough you up, you just beat up Grummy. Oh, man.
I think it's to assert dominance, but that's not really my bag.
Call him.
I'll see what I can do.
Oh, am I gonna...
I like that a lot.
There it is.
Terrence looks nice. Very funny, Grumly. Very funny, Grumly indeed. Good boy. Good boy, Grumly.
Do you got any Virginia friends? I did Virginia, but she wasn't slim. That'll work. Okay.
Open to Slim Jim.
What's the answer,
Whatever you like.
It is a hot dog.
Genuine.
Ew. Ew, snowing it like a crazy.
A whole lot of chili dogs.
There was chili on that thing?
It's nice to meet you. My name's Bitsy.
It's nice to meet you. My name's Big Ned.
Hi, Big Ned. I'm Bitsy.
I'm Bitsy. I'm Big Ned. I'm a goon.
Yeah, I'm a tiny mouse.
Okay.
My name's Bitsy. How are you?
I'm all right. A little hungry for some clam dogs.
Do you have any more?
How are you?
Oh,
Oh,
what the?
I'll have some. No, you go ahead.
Just talking past each other.
We enter a loop, and this happens for 2 hours. The bat at the end of it is...
Well, hello. How are you?
How are you? I'm good. My name's Bitsy.
They prepared to do it off. Dark, beady eyes as a hunched figure looks at you.
Welcome.
Oh, God.
The master has been waiting for you.
The master's been waiting?
It's a scaven looking ass.
Are you all right? There's something wrong with your face.
What are you talking
You having a heart attack? Your face is drooping.
That's
How many
a stroke.
fingers in my whole face?
Peggy's
That's
right.
a
I saw my
stroke.
dad do this once.
Three fingers. Oh, hold on.
No, there was only 2.
Oh, my God, those encounters.
Neuer Raumport wird Schwierigkeitsgrad. Hochrangiges Ziel.
Please don't let this be another magical purpose.
Not really a matter.
That's what
Just the one. The table.
Late.
Taco. Bro, this is taco break.
That was weird.
My master is eager to meet you.
Is the master okay? He was breathing real heavy.
Oh, the master.
Betrayed again by Taco Bell. None can withstand the mighty power of a DoorDash. Much like with the crew of Legend of Eventris, these shows bring me what I can only describe as violent joy. It's so unhinged, but it's so good. Especially the last bit there with the bat and the conversation in jail. Oh my god. Folks, thank you so much for checking out this video. As always, please do make sure to go and subscribe to the folks at Legend of Eventris. And of course, if you like this reaction, don't forget to hit that like button. And of course, subscribe if you want to see some more. Wish you all to have a wonderful day and see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Gelände geortet. Kampfsimulation aktiv.
Still got to make the cheesy cornbread. The cheesy cornbread is what I want. Although, maybe not before you go.
Over in the Deutschland,
yeah,
Netherlands. That's the word. Over in the Netherlands, they have something called hagelslag, which is they take bread and they butter it and they drown it in chocolate sprinkles.
Ooh, that sounds like it could be good. Yo, what's up, honkers? Me and Ozzy were going to be reacting to more Dylan Hall.